a mile of installed security fencing and additional hires for their campus ambassador program.
They work between 7 at night to 3 in the morning in order to provide foot escorts for students across campus. They also have police radios so they can reach out directly to police officers if they see something concerning.
UGA's Daniel Silk says they have also installed 23 new emergency call boxes across campus and 50 more are coming. It is 25 degrees at 9:01. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Atlanta-based Delta Airlines says it wants to correct misinformation that is spreading on social media about the experience of the piloting crew on the plane that ended up upside down on a runway in Toronto.
The captain was hired in October of 2007 and claims that he failed training events are also false. Delta says it is not true, as some have claimed that training failures caused the captain to not get a pilot position at Delta Airlines.
Alex Stone reports that Delta also refutes claims that the first officer failed training and claims she is not a new hire. That's not true. She has been with Delta for more than a year. Disappointment and anger are the prevailing emotions for parents of 2 Fulton County schools that will close at the end of this term after a final decision from the school board.
Both votes were close, 4-3 to close both Spalding Drive Elementary in Sandy Springs and Park Lane Elementary in East Point. The Park Lane vote met with stunned silence by parents. The Spalding Drive vote met with shouts of profanity at the board and disbelief and tears outside.
We're absolutely devastated. It's heartbreaking. We're really sad.
The board closed the 2 schools, saying both were old buildings and had declining enrollment. Parents say moving to new schools will harm their children. Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
School officials do say they will make it a priority to reassign faculty and staff to other vacant positions within the district. The results are in and clear backpacks are out. Gwinnett County Schools will not mandate the use of the bags after a pilot program reveals concerns with durability, effectiveness, and cost.
What we found very early on is that price points for durability probably are closest like the $80 range.
Chief of Schools Dr. Al Taylor says the district will now focus on adding weapons detection systems at the middle and high school level and providing more school resource officers for elementary schools. Georgia lawmakers working to establish a way to compensate people who are wrongly convicted of a crime.
People who spend time in prison and are later exonerated often enter life with no help. Lee Clark knows this firsthand. He spent decades in prison before his release in 2022.
I mean, you come out, you starting from scratch, and that's difficult.
Some state lawmakers want to change that. The bipartisan legislation would give a judge the say on compensation. If approved, the person would get $75,000 a year for every year of their incarceration. Representative Katie Dempsey.
We're not talking about missteps. We're talking about innocence.
A similar bill last year failed. From the state capitol, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Luigi Mangione, the suspect accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, will be back in court today, his first hearing since pleading not guilty in December. The judge is expected to ask the defense and prosecution for an update on the exchange of evidence and could also set a trial date. Mangione supporters are lined up outside the Lower Manhattan courthouse. If convicted, he could face the death penalty. The soaring price of eggs is causing industry officials to get creative. The nation of Turkey has agreed to send 15,000 tons of eggs to the U.S. The first shipment's expected to come by the end of this month. Meanwhile, Nevada, a state with a cage-free egg regulation, has suspended those rules. The price of a dozen eggs is up 25 cents just since Valentine's Day. It is 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes, but first it is time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple Team Traffic, Smiling Mark McKay.
Thanks, Graham. We've got delays out of Duluth into Norcross. Yet to get any help to this breakdown that we see on the jam cam. Left center lane, 85 southbound Beaver Ruin Road, exit 102. Heavy back toward the Highway 316 interchange. The I-75 delays northbound still in place. Spotty delays leaving the South Loop, heading toward Town Center Mall and Barrett Parkway. Southbound's in good shape. So is 400 rolling south out of Cumming into Sandy Springs and Buckhead. Latest I-20, Ashley Frasca.
It's been pretty pleasant out of the western suburbs, including the ride from Douglasville on I-20 eastbound. Pretty much speed limit getting into Fulton Industrial Boulevard on the west side of I-285, and just a couple of brake lights scattered between Panola Road and 285 through DeKalb County along I-20 west. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny but staying chilly today. High 46. That's turning about 15 degrees below average. Lows tonight in the mid-20s.
It is 24 degrees in Union City, 26 in Decula, and currently 25 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. At 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Oh, so chilly, but oh, so busy. An action-packed edition of the Mark Arum Show for the next 3 hours. Coming up in 30 minutes, live to D.C., Capitol Hill congressional correspondent Scott McFarland's going to join us live. An inquiry's been opened into Democratic Representative Robert Garcia for allegedly making violent threats to the commander-in-chief and Elon Musk. Really crazy story. Scott McFarland is going to join us live in 30 minutes, break it down for us. In an hour, Taisha Fernandez from Channel 2, we're going to go in depth on the ongoing search at Lake Oconee. Taisha was on one of those search boats yesterday. She's going to tell us all about it and get us caught up to date on, obviously, that huge, fascinating local story. And Kash Patel got confirmed yesterday. Political analyst Bill Crane joins us live at 10:35. I do want to start off the show with a thank you to Sam Morril, probably my favorite comedian right now. I think he and Nate Bargatze they're working on different levels, man. They're just above the game. Sam hooked me and Longoria up for tickets yesterday, last night at the Tabernacle. I mean, goodness gracious, Longoria, how funny is that?
It was great. It was great.
Unbelievable.
And you missed his closure because you had to leave a little early.
Well, he started doing the crowd work, and I was like,
he did a closer right after that, and it was
really good.
Really good. Yeah.
Dagnab. I wanted to get home and beat the traffic.
Oh, yeah. It was only like 15, 20 minutes.
Deborah, you've been to the Tabernacle more than Longoria and I have
Probably,
been combined, yes. The Tabby, as you refer to it. I can't remember the last time if I've ever sat on the floor at the Tabernacle. Usually, if I'm at the Tabernacle for like a comic, I'm in the balcony.
Yeah, on the upper levels.
And if I'm for a concert, I'm on the floor where there's no seats.
Rarely are there seats on the floor. It depends on the show, obviously. So, yeah, there are rarely seats
So
on the floor.
this is the first time I sat on the floor, and I love the Tabernacle. It's an amazing venue. I had such a good time. But I was squeezed like a sardine.
It is not meant for husky.
Yeah, you're better off on the upper levels. If you're at the Tabernacle.
I was so uncomfortable. I'm sitting next to Longoria, big fella. I'm a big fella. I've got a woman next to me, and I don't want to man spread into her. You know, I'm very self-conscious about that. So that was one of the reasons I left when he started doing the crowd work. I'm like, I can barely move.
Yeah, when that guy sat next to me, I was like, oh. We had a little wiggle room.
I know.
In the opener. I mean, I was kind of sitting on two seats, and then the guy showed up, and I'm like, oh, man.
My butt fell asleep. It was not anyway.
Yeah.
But Sam Morril, goodness gracious, he is amazing. Him and Nate Bargatze, they're on another level. They are like the Ronald Acuna and Shohei Ohtani of comedy. Just absolutely crushed it. Thanks, Sam, for the tickets. Amazing. But an observation. I know we have a lot of Uber and Lyft drivers that listen to the show. In the last week, I've called an Uber 3 times. Twice because my car is in the shop, and once because I didn't want to drive downtown to the Tabernacle, find parking. So I told Longoria, I'll meet you there. I'm going to take an Uber down. The last 3 times I've tried to get an Uber to my house, and I'm inside the perimeter. You know, I'm not in Dahlonega. I'm not in Flowery Branch. I'm in the city. Last night, for example, the quickest an Uber could get to me was 22 minutes away. And I was like, that's cutting it close, but I'll book it. And then they finally booked me a rider, and it jumped up to 31 minutes. I was like, well, I'm going to be late for the show. The tickets are in my name. It will call. I don't want Longoria standing out in the cold. So I just canceled the Uber and drove a station vehicle down and parked. But that's the 3rd time in a week I've seen these massive wait times for a rideshare. Now, I didn't do Lyft. I don't have the Lyft app. I did Uber. But my concern is, and again, this is just anecdotal from my experience in the last week, but it's been ongoing. Are we losing Uber drivers? Are they leaving the workforce?
Now, there was a strike a couple weeks ago. I don't know if that's still kind of going on. It was in some of the bigger cities. But is it because the ride is too short? Like, is it not worth it for them? Like, because I live in the suburbs, so if I'm taking an Uber, it's a bit of a trek.
I had to take Uber to work the other morning. I think it was Monday morning. And the Uber X was 27 minutes away for like $18. It's a 15-minute ride, but I couldn't wait that long. So I had to get an Uber Black, and it cost me $40 to come to work.
Can you look into a traditional cab?
Are they still a thing?
Yeah, cabs are still a thing, yeah.
So, I mean, last night it would have been $50 to take Uber X from my house to the Tabernacle.
That's more expensive than parking.
Yeah, the parking was only
absolutely.
$30, so it worked out for sure financially. But I mean, these are I'm booking, decent rides. That was a sizable fare.
Aren't we getting the autonomous car soon?
No, I don't know about that. But I just want to know if from the Uber and Lyft drivers out there, is there a decline in the number of cars that are available, or are they the Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, are they migrating toward like Uber Eats and like I don't want to deal with people, I'll deal with food, I'll just do that because in the last week the wait times have been crazy. It used to be at most 5 minutes. No matter what time of day, no matter what day of the week, I could get an Uber to my house in 5 minutes.
Especially places like the Tabernacle where you have the Benz and State Farm Arena
Yeah.
and the aquarium all right there.
Yeah, you drop me off at the Tabernacle, you're getting another fare right away. So I mean, I know, and I love the fact that the driving folks, whether it be truckers or cabbies or rideshare or delivery people, they listen to the show, they listen to the station. I always get a kick when I get into an Uber and 95.5 WSB is on, and I try to play. I'm like, who's your favorite talk show host on this show? I'm not familiar with it, and they're like, anyone but Aram. Usually is the answer. But anyway, I just wanted, I think this could be. I could be catching on to an early wave of exodus of rideshare drivers because it's been a struggle, an absolute struggle for the last week. So give Vinny a call if you have any insight into this local story, a shortage of Lyft and Uber drivers, perhaps. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Or you can hit me up on Twitter, X, at Mark Arum, M-A-R-K-A-R-U-M. I just want to check the pulse of the driving community out there. Do you see fewer drivers willing to take fares, to willing to do that contract work? Because I personally have noticed it in the last week. Actually, the last couple of months, it's been a struggle. All right, when we come back, we got movement in the Russia-Ukraine talks. We'll go to Kyiv, check in with Nick Payton-Walsh. Again, 9:35, a developing story. Scott McFarland, our congressional correspondent, an inquiry has been issued by the D.C. District Attorney's Office into Democratic Representative Robert Garcia for possibly making physical threats against President Trump and Elon Musk. Scott McFarland live in D.C. at 9:35 on The Mark Arum Show.
When traffic hits.
Raining pretty heavy. Crash still on the right lane, 85 northbound Hamilton Mill.
The
Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Pausing for a long, slow ride to I-20. Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Not often we can say this, but 285 is looking great.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Can you keep your home show ready with a busy life? Orchard has all the answers. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, you can buy your new home before selling your old one. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler, and it's simple. Orchard gives you an equity advance, unlocking cash to buy your new home first. That's right. You don't have to wait for your old place to sell. You can move in right away. And no more rushing out for showings or constant cleaning because Orchard sells your old home after you've settled into your new home. Orchard even handles repairs and improvements at no out-of-pocket cost to you. Their local pros know which upgrades bring you the most money, so you sell for top dollar. Buy before you sell and skip the selling hassles with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
If I said to focus your energy, where would you start? Let's say you run a business, a school campus, a hospital, or a government facility. Finding ways to save can be overwhelming, but Georgia Power has energy efficiency tips and rebates to help. Things like improving lighting with LEDs, making HVAC upgrades, adding building controls, and more. Look, you've got a business to run and numbers to hit. Georgia Power can help you focus your energy where it matters most. Learn more at georgiapower.com/biz.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
JIC, Flat Face Seal, BSP, and DEN. If you know what these are, then listen up.
I'm Victoria Holloway. We can replicate hose assembly on site with Mobile Hydraulics of Georgia.
Call 770-HYD-HOSE or try our website, HYDHOSE.com.
Wet spots or water streaks on your ceiling, drywall, or chimney? Your roof is leaking. Home Fix It host Dave Baker. Get a free roof analysis from my trusted experts, Finley Roofing. The roof guys. No obligation, no charge. FinleyRoofing.com. Roof.
918 on the Mark Arum Show, checking Southside delays. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, Mike Shields.
And Mark, new crash in the sunshine in your eyes, 75 southbound just past Mount Zion Boulevard, exit 231. As I speak, Clayton County Fire Department pulling up with this. The 2 right lanes are blocked and already slow now. Just before Mount Zion Boulevard, exit 231, use I-675 or 1941 as alternates. This report is brought to you by Zinchi Handcrafted Sushi. Craving something fresh and flavorful? Discover Zinchi Handcrafted Sushi. High quality, affordable, and made fresh daily. Find Zinchi Sushi today at your local Publix market right by the seafood counter. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
So what's actually happening is that those poor guys are getting sent into a meat grinder for money. That's
Elon Musk discussing the Russia-Ukraine situation. We're going to update that in just a second. More on Musk, too. Have you heard about the possible Musk Doge $5,000 stimulus check? Is that close to reality? Correspondent Rory O'Neill's going to join us to discuss that. I want to take some calls, though, from the amazing driving community here in Metro Atlanta. I've noticed a severe, at least in my neighborhood, a severe lack of Uber drivers that have been available recently. Is that a trend? Are folks leaving that business? Karima drives for Uber. She joins us live on the Mark Arum Show, or he drives us live. They join us live on the Mark Arum Show. Hey, Karima.
Hey, Mark.
I was right the first time. Okay, good. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. We talked before when they had that strike a couple months back at the first of the month. But what's happening right now is the rates that they're giving us is so low. Like this morning, I was in Stone Mountain, and they wanted me to go all the way to Collier Avenue for $9. It's like a 30-minute drive.
Oof. So do you have the option to decline that?
Yes, sir, we do, and it's not enough to go into rush hour traffic from Stone Mountain to Collier.
So if I was gonna be charged as a customer $50 last night to go from Decatur to the Tabernacle, of that $50, what would the driver have gotten?
Probably 11.
That's it?
That is it. That's
plus
what
tip,
they're doing now.
right? Because I'm a generous tipper, obviously.
Well, we may or may not get it. I'm just being honest.
Ouch.
We don't really know, but we do know that that's been happening. I believe just because they're trying to take advantage of of people right about now. I
Do you-
don't
are
know
you
what was
are you
this-
in contact with other drivers? Are they just quitting because they're not making enough money? It's not worth it for them?
Well, the gas prices. I just had to drive from Stone Mountain over here to Jimmy Carter to get gas for $2.44 because I use E85.
Ooh, all
So
right.
between the low rate that they're getting, I mean, I've had people tell me that they were, charged $70 and then only got paid $21 to go all the way to Jasper County.
So Uber gets all the leftover money. Are you close to leaving the business, Karima?
No, I love it because
Okay, good.
I just like the city, but I'm very particular now, and I'm not making that much, so I'm only
Yeah.
doing a few hours.
Well, listen, keep up the good work, and I really appreciate you listening and chiming in. That doesn't make sense. That the driver gets that small a percentage of the fare. That's just not right. John's up next to the Mark Aram Show. What's going on, John?
Hey, Mark, how you doing today? Great
Okay,
show.
thank you, brother.
Well, I've been having all kinds of lip problems. Unfortunately, I had a stroke a couple years ago, and I've been going to a ton of doctors.
Oh,
and
wow.
thank God I'm 65. I hit Medicare, and Medicare does pay for Lyft drivers going to doctor's appointments. But I'm up near Ball Ground, and I've had nothing but problems with Lyft drivers. They'll get to get within 10 minutes of my house, and then they'll cancel. It's crazy. It's the same thing because it's usually like short drives, and they're just not making enough money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, geez, Ball Ground. That's that's out there. How far are the trips to your medical professional from your house?
Well, usually they're 10, 15 minutes. Like, it's surprising. It's big time up here now, especially with the older people. There's so many people that go to doctors and stuff like that I would think they'd be busy, but the drivers tell me they're just not. They're just not busy compared to like Atlanta type driving.
I got you. What's your if you don't mind sharing? I don't want to violate any HIPAA regulations, but what's your stroke prognosis?
Well, it's not good. I'll never be able to drive.
Oh wow. So any limited on your hands or
Yeah, I can't use my left hands, and my main thing is I'm a horseman. I can't ride my horse no more.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's like crazy. I used to be a real good outdoors person, and all this has just really screwed me up. And then like getting stuck, like these Lyft drivers, I'll get stuck at a doctor's appointment, and they won't even tell me like they're not coming or stuff like that. It's been a disaster. I can't stand that company.
John, I'm going to leave it there. I wish you the best. I think there are services that, you know what I'm talking about, Deborah, that will provide...
There are medical supply. Like, we do stuff through our church. I know there
Yeah.
are community services out there besides the rideshare programs that might give rides.
I remember Scott Slade used to do a commercial for a charitable organization he was with that would give folks ride to their cancer treatments for free. Look into that, John. I would hate for you to have to be left hanging waiting for a ride. Tom is up next on the Mark Aram Show. Tom, what's going on, brother?
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay. Hang on one second. Okay, I've been doing Lyft, Uber mostly for about 6-7 years, and it used to be pretty lucrative, and I would do it based on like how much I could average an hour. And there used to be money like on the back end where you could possibly make an extra $500 in bonuses and stuff. So you would take some of the crappier rides that didn't pay a lot because you knew you had $3-4 extra. That's all been eliminated. Okay.
So because of that, do you think people are leaving the business, and that's why I'm having such a hard time getting drivers?
There's a lot of drivers out there, but here's the other thing: is like remember, like you said earlier, you used to be able to get a car within like 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and then what they did is they started introducing other classes like comfort and so on. So then they started playing a game where it's like if you want an Uber X, it'll be 17 minutes, but if you pay extra money, you're going to have a comfort, like, say, in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they hit that with me earlier this week, yeah.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't even hold true anymore because I've got so many comfort rides that are like 17 minutes away. And see, I only do it for a couple hours. Like, I come out in the morning around 6 and do it to like maybe 9 or 10, and that's when you can make the most money because there's less traffic, et cetera. So the other thing is when I live in Midtown area, so when I would come out in the morning, they would always try to send you far away from where you live. They don't want you driving where you live. And the only thing I can come about with that is that if it slows down, they still want you out there. maybe an hour outside of the city.
Real quick, Tom, are you going to keep doing it, or are you going to bail?
No, I'm going to bail.
All right, I don't blame you. And listen, when I tried to book an Uber to go to work the other morning, 5:30 in the morning, I knew it would be limited. But last night at 6 p.m., there should have been a ton of options. Real quick, Randall, you got the final word here, buddy. What's going on?
Well, a smart Uber and Lyft driver is going to shoot for $1 a mile.
$1 a mile, okay.
Right? Nobody wants to drop anybody off around Centennial Park at that time of night, especially if there's a ball game going on, because you're stuck in traffic. You're going to get a good lucrative ride out of there, but it's going to take you 30 minutes to get away from it.
That's what I wonder about the folks down that do the airport rides. Like, have you ever seen the line?
Isn't there a special lot
there
for
is,
there, so it's
but
not
there's
the
like
same?
100. There's like 100 Lyft and Uber cars waiting just to get fares. Like, I don't know how long it takes for them. Is it worth it to sit at the airport and wait for a ride?
If you got an SUV, it is.
Yeah.
But a little car like mine, no. I don't even fool with the airport at all.
Yeah. All right, Randall, you going to stick with it, or are you going to bail?
Well, I have to stick with it, man. I mean, I can't make ends meet unless I do this about 20 or 30 hours a week.
Have you
I
looked?
make over $100K at my day job.
Oh, wow. Have you looked into Uber Eats instead?
That's terrible.
Oh,
no
okay.
way.
All right. I can't live without Uber Eats. I can't.
Tell them to deliver to you.
Yeah, unbelievable. I cannot live. Uber, I was just thinking about this the other day when I was a kid, and I remember I have bad memories of waiting outside the YMCA in freezing cold Connecticut weather and, not getting picked up from my parents. There was a miscommunication, and there was no way to contact them. I didn't have a dime for the payphone. There were no cell phones. Uber's changed the way we live. And I don't want it to disappear, but what I'm seeing, man, more and more folks that they're just not doing it. They're not making enough to keep it sustainable. Thank you for everyone for chiming in. You can hit me up on Twitter if you weren't able to get on the air at Mark Arum, MarkArum. 2 minutes away from news, weather, and traffic. We're heading to Capitol Hill. CBS correspondent Scott McFarland joins us live next on the Mark Arum Show.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. I know what's important to you when you're looking for a new deck. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. And when it comes to new decks, pretty much anything you can imagine, Ben Hill can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers. Or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Income for a lifetime after you've left the workforce. Many happy retirees harness the power of income investing to give themselves peace of mind and create a consistent income stream from their retirement savings. For income investing, they use many different forms of cash flow, including rent, royalties, dividends, distributions, and interest. At Capital Investment Advisors, we love working with happy retirees on income investing. You can find us at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
At Cigna Healthcare, we're designing a better way for you to get better care. And that starts with being there to support you around the clock. When you call or text, we'll always answer with 24/7 access to mental health clinicians, and we'll call you too. With a 100% follow-up rate to make sure you have everything you need. Whatever works best for you, works best for us. We're really just here to help you get better. That's better by design. Learn more at Cigna.com/better.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Thanks. Got my seat cushion, crossword puzzle, and can't forget the hand sanitizer. Okay, show me the waiting room.
No need for all that. You can stay in your car.
I'll stay in my car? Get out.
Yep, you stay in. It'll just be 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Get out.
Go ahead, sit back and relax.
Well, I guess I'll save all this for the DMV. If only they took 10 minutes, am I right? I'm sorry.
Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 9:30. I'm Graham Carroll. Our top local story: emotions run high as the Fulton County School Board votes to close 2 elementary schools.
Parents and students lose their last-minute bid to keep the schools open.
The motion carries 4-3
to close Park Lane Elementary School.
The vote count is the same for Spalding Drive Elementary. A heartbreaking decision for parents like this one who showed up to try to change board members' minds.
I just can't believe that I'm going to have to tell my kid she has to switch schools next year because she was a budget line item.
Board members say both schools are aging, and with declining enrollment, they had to make the difficult decision. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
It was 1 year ago tomorrow that Laken Riley was killed while out for a jog on the UGA campus in Athens. The school has prioritized security enhancements, and millions of dollars have been dedicated to technology upgrades, such as LED lighting and an integrated real-time camera monitoring system in partnership with Athens Clark County Police. They also have made a big investment in providing students with immediate access to officers.
We installed 23 emergency call stations. It gives the people an immediate opportunity to press one button and reach out to the police. Each one of the emergency call stations also has 4 cameras that are recording all the time.
UGA's Daniel Silk says they constantly review their safety readiness and are always looking to identify gaps as well as opportunities. Elon Musk says recent government cuts are essential. Speaking at the Conservative Political Action Committee in Maryland, Trump's head of government efficiency says this will save several social programs.
The actions that we're taking with the support of the president and the support of the agencies is what will save Medicare, what will save Social Security.
Thousands of government employees have been laid off at agencies across the country, thousands more accepting buyouts from the administration. Emory Healthcare expanding into all CVS Minute Clinic locations in Georgia. Emory's Patrick Hammond says they'll offer in-network adult primary care to patients.
Our Emory doctors are the supervising, collaborating physicians who oversee the work of the APP or the APPs, so nurse practitioners and PAs.
There will be same-day access and extended evening and weekend hours at the Minute Clinics. Patients also will have access to Emory's hospitals and their specialists. There is optimism this morning in the real estate industry as home sales across the country are showing signs of positive momentum.
The National Association of Realtors reports on existing home sales for January, with most economists forecasting a slight gain from December, when sales of previously owned homes rose more than 9% from a year earlier, the strongest annual gain in 2.5 years.
Jason Brooks reporting increasing inventory is helping with moderate price growth, but mortgage rates are still elevated. Pope Francis is responding well to treatment for pneumonia. He remains hospitalized in Rome, but is breathing independently. He is spending time between bed and an armchair. The pontiff continues to meet with Vatican officials. No word yet on how long he will remain in the hospital or if he will be ready to lead Sunday prayer. It is 9:33. It is time for traffic and weather. Mike Shields live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And Graham, watching an injury crash right now impacting you out of Morrow, getting into Stockbridge on 75 southbound, just south of Mount Zion Boulevard, exit 231. 2 right lanes remain blocked. Delays start back at Jonesboro Road, exit 233. So 2 miles of delay there. If you want to avoid it altogether, you can use I-675 or 1941 as alternates. Also new trouble on the west side perimeter, 285 northbound, the inner loop north of I-20 exit 10, causing delays starting back at I-20. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high 46. That's trending about 15 degrees below average. A hard freeze for tonight, lows in the mid-20s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 52. The warm-up continues on Sunday with sunny skies. Morning low 30, afternoon high 56.
It is currently 26 degrees in Johns Creek, 25 degrees in Douglasville, and 26 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News, hoping with Paws Atlanta to find a home for our WSB Dog of the Month, Goldfish. 3-year-old Pitty, displaced after the Biolab fire, loved a good belly rub when he came to visit us. Meet him at WSBRadio.com/dog, and our sponsor Finley Roofing will pay the adoption fees for Goldfish's new human. WSBRadio.com/dog.
I'm a bought asset of Putin. Yeah. I'm like, he can't afford me.
Elon Musk talking about Vladimir Putin still to come. We'll update the peace talks in the Russia-Ukraine war. But coming up next, 2 Democratic lawmakers under fire. Scott McFarland joins us live with the latest from Capitol Hill, 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
Dave Baker here for Coolray Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Electrical. Let's show our home some love this month. Coolray can help with great deals like $50 off any electrical service, 10% off any plumbing repair, and up to $2,250 in rebates on new Carrier heating and cooling systems. Your house will get the expert service it needs, so you'll stay comfortable all season long. Simply go to Coolray.com CoolRain.com and book your appointment for the day and time that works best for you. Cool Rain Carrier. Turn to the experts.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Georgia farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
Bugs bugging you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
9:37 on this chilly yet busy Friday news day. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from now, Taisha Fernandez from Channel 2 is going to join us live. She was on one of the search boats on Lake Oconee yesterday as they continue to search for that missing boater. She joins us live in 30 minutes. Joining us live right now from Capitol Hill, CBS News congressional reporter Scott MacFarlane. Scott, good morning. Happy Friday, my friend.
Hey, Mark, good morning.
Read your piece on CBSNews.com yesterday. It appears that Ed Martin, the acting U.S. attorney for D.C., has opened inquiries into Senator Chuck Schumer and Representative Robert Garcia, both Democrats. What are these inquiries all about?
Well, according to Ed Martin's memo to his colleagues obtained by CBS News, he's concerned the rhetoric those two congressmen have used could be deemed threatening against judges or against Elon Musk and Elon Musk's Doge outfit. Both Democratic members of Congress have strongly denied that anything they've said criticizing judges or Doge has been threatening. But a couple things here. First of all, it's a sea change because this U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C., among the most powerful prosecutors in America now, has revealed a pending investigation or inquiry. The Department of Justice never does that. They never reveal an investigation until they bring a charge. So that's a sea change. But also, this was the office that prosecuted nearly 1,600 Capitol insurrectionists. They have very much shifted their mission now to doing an inquiry on Chuck Schumer.
So what does that tell us, Scott, that this is a change of pattern, that this has not been done before? Is this just, the new sheriff in town and there's going to be new protocols?
I think so. This is one of those buckle up moments. I think half the population's going to love this, half the population's going to hate this, but the Department of Justice is shattering norms left and right. The Department of Justice has long been an independent branch of government, one that operates separate from the White House and political interests. That's over. The FBI director, just confirmed yesterday, is a strong Trump loyalist who has deeply and passionately argued for Trump's ways. He's now running the Bureau. The U.S. Attorney General, a deep Trump loyalist who once served as Trump's attorney at his first impeachment trial, she's running the Department of Justice. And you have this U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C., who goes by the nickname Eagle, Ed the Eagle Martin, who was a Stop the Steal figure, an election denier who defended January 6 rioters in their cases. He's now the top prosecutor in the nation's capital. This is just a different kind of world, Mark.
What were the alleged threats that Schumer and Garcia made that kicked off this inquiry?
So in March 2020, before COVID shutdowns, Chuck Schumer made a statement about Justice Kavanaugh, Brett Kavanaugh of the Supreme Court, where something alluding to we're coming to fight. A day later, March 5th, 2020, Chuck Schumer had heard some criticism about those words, and on the Senate floor apologized and said he meant no physical fight against the justices, and that none of that was a threat. 5 years later, Ed Martin has decided to do an inquiry into what Chuck Schumer meant in March 2020. Robert Garcia is quite different. Second-term Democratic congressman from suburban Los Angeles. On CNN a week ago, he said about Elon Musk and Elon Musk's Doge team that this is a bar fight, and we have to bring weapons to this bar fight to win. A metaphor, an allegory, I think his supporters would argue. But Ed Martin, who has been online on social media actively praising Elon Musk, says now it's worthy of an inquiry and sent a letter of inquiry to Robert Garcia, who said he meant no literal bar fight was going to happen with Elon Musk or Doge, but that inquiry is ongoing, and Congressman Garcia posted a copy of the inquiry letter he received from prosecutors online last night.
Yeah, I saw that. Interesting stuff. So I mean, listen, words matter, right? Especially from elected leaders. And you mentioned weapons and fight in an interview. It's going to raise some eyebrows. I'm puzzled that Martin would go back to 2020 to something that Chuck Schumer said and apologized for. That seems to have less teeth than what Garcia just recently said.
Nobody reasonably believes this inquiry is going to lead to anything criminal or civil coming out of the U.S. Department of Justice. But this memo sent by Ed Martin to his subordinates inside the U.S. Attorney's Office, which has many hundreds of employees, is sending a message. Careful with your political rhetoric. Democrats, careful how you pose your criticisms of Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and this administration. That's a message I think that Trump supporters are keen on hearing.
Interesting. Scott McFarland joining us live from the nation's capital on Mark Arum Show. Kash Patel, the latest confirmation in front of the Senate, heading up the FBI. What was the vote tally, and did any Republicans vote no on Kash?
2 Republicans voted no, Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. They also voted no on Pete Hegseth to be defense secretary. Kash Patel, when he was first nominated, raised a lot of outrage because he's been such a loyal devotee of Donald Trump's. And again, the FBI is supposed to be independent of presidents, so much so that the FBI director gets a 10-year appointment so that it transcends presidential administrations, so that it's independent of a president's election. That day may be over, Mark. I mean, we may be done with 10-year terms, and FBI directors might, in fact, get fired by each successive president, which really does break down a firewall, which is supposed to make these types of directors and Justice Department officials independent of politics. I think that's the larger picture here, Mark, that this sea change is underway, and Justice Department officials, FBI directors, may now be political appointees.
Now that we have the benefit of hindsight, Scott, are you surprised that every single one of the Trump nominees that got to the process of Senate confirmation did indeed get confirmed?
You would have knocked me over with a feather if you told me in late January every single one would get through, not only smoothly, with just seemingly no Republican opposition galvanized, because some of these are particularly polarizing choices. No matter what you think of them, I think you can agree these are controversial choices, and nobody raised hell about any of them. But I think after we saw RFK Jr. go through swimmingly, Pete Hegseth get through narrowly but swimmingly, doesn't seem to be any firewall at all for any future nominee for Donald Trump, and that's a liberating thing for the president.
One quick follow-up before I let you go, Scott. You mentioned the 2 no votes for Kash Patel. I noticed that a third was not Mitch McConnell, who had that breaks his streak of 2 no votes for Trump nominations.
Yeah, it's really a different day, isn't it, Mark, where you see Democrats bullish on Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Where you see Democrats expressing their concern they're going to miss Mitch McConnell, now liberated from being a Republican Senate leader. He can kind of vote his prerogative, and it's been a little bit mercurial, hasn't it?
It has been interesting indeed. It's been an interesting first month of the Trump second administration. The news comes fast and furious. Scott McFarland, of course, live on Capitol Hill every day, providing coverage for you here in Atlanta. Scott, as always, thanks for your time. Have a good weekend, buddy.
You too, Mark. Thanks.
There you go. Scott McFarland. Interesting stuff there. We'll go in depth on the Kash Patel confirmation and Linda McMahon's confirmation for Department of Education. Political analyst Bill Crane joins us live at 10:35. Next, though, we're going to Kyiv, get the latest on the Russia-Ukraine talks. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
It should go without saying that I abhor violence.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I just don't feel like other people that I don't know need to know how I feel about things.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Every day at the end of the Mark Arum Show, I award a star of the show. You hear that bell ring, I tell you who is the star of the show. In reality, it probably should be Xfinity every single day. Xfinity should get star of the show on the Mark Arum Show every day. Why? They're an integral part of the program. When I'm at home doing my show prep the night before the show, I'm hooked up to my Xfinity internet while watching my Xfinity cable selection so I can watch all the cable news channels, recording shows on my Xfinity DVR. And then when I get to work, I use Xfinity internet here at the office as well. So in all reality, no offense, Deborah Longoria, the star of the show, every show should go to my friends at Xfinity. If you're not on board the Xfinity family, now's the time to do it. Amazing deals, amazing savings, mobile, Wi-Fi, you name it, Xfinity's got it. Take the first step. Go to Xfinity.com, great, easy-to-use website. Or if you want to talk to someone, call 1-800-XFINITY. Or even better, visit your local Xfinity store near you today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. I know what's important to you when you're looking for a new deck. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. And when it comes to new decks, pretty much anything you can imagine, Ben Hill can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers. Or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pegol is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
9:49 on the Mark Aram Show, still monitoring sizable south side delays. Live with the latest, Mike Shields.
Yeah, injury crash still in two right lanes marked. 75 southbound south of Mount Zion Boulevard, exit 231. Delays 2 miles back to Jonesboro Road. 675 is always an option for you. New trouble in Marietta, 75 southbound just before I-285. At least a couple right center lanes blocked with this. Highway 41 or the express lanes are alternates. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Happy birthday, Mary Chapin Carpenter. 67 years. What's that?
Absolute favorite.
Oh, really?
I love Mary Chapin Carpenter.
67. Shut Up and Kiss Me is the song there. I don't think I've ever heard that song.
Not one of her better ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's better songs.
Who's spinning the records at CBS News? Is that Todd that picks the history
It's
cuts?
not me, for sure.
All right, maybe Longoria can find a better Mary Chapin Carpenter song for us to play a little bit later in the show. Still to come on the show right after the news at 10. In fact, she's in the newsroom waiting right now. Taisha Fernandez from Channel 2. Taisha was on one of those search boats yesterday at Lake Oconee as the search continues for that missing boater. So Ty's going to join us live in studio after the news at 10. I do want to update the latest on the Russia-Ukraine peace talks. Of course, Envoy Keith Kellogg, been in Ukraine now for 2 days. Meeting with the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. Nick Peyton Walsh. Neil Patrick Harris. No, he is not in Kyiv. Nick Peyton Walsh is updating this from CNN. Obviously, a lot of joy in Russia right now at the progress of this. A lot of worry in Europe. What's it like ground level in Ukraine this morning?
Yeah, let's just be quick to recap here. We've gone from a US-Russia summit that appeared to be about a larger Washington-Moscow entente with Ukraine's peace somewhere on the list of things to deal with, to an extraordinary 72 hours of insults, frankly, being traded. Zelensky gingerly, I think, having to correct Trump's statement that Ukraine started the war and that Zelensky had 4% polling rating. Existential questions here in Kiev that they simply couldn't allow to go unanswered. He kept saying how much he respected Trump when he said Trump was in a disinformation space, and then we had that litany of myth-truths from Trump about him being a dictator, freezing elections, how money had been stolen here. But that all really got in the way of the key thing here, which was Kiev's first real grasp with the part of the Trump administration involved in these peace talks. The Ukraine envoy, General Keith Kellogg, he's been here now for 2 days. We understand he's still in country, leaving potentially in the next 24 hours or so, according to the plan, and I would suspect that negotiations are indeed continuing. There's been a lot of suggestions that they're hashing through details of this rare earth minerals deal, a resource deal that Trump so urgently wants signed, essentially to pay United States back for aid that's already being given. But I think we've heard from Zelensky after that spat, no other real way to call it, a bid to put things back on track, said that the meetings with Kellogg were productive. Here's what he said last night.
General Kellogg, our talks restore hope. We need strong agreements with America, agreements that will really work. I gave instructions to work fast and very much even-handedly.
Now, I mean, what is this deal going to have? Actual security guarantees for the future, promises of aid for the future. The original text all about paying back past aid. Remarkable, really, given the Biden administration gave that. And all of this a distraction from the daily death on the front line where Russia is advancing, and even from the peace deal that Trump said was so seminal to his policies here, that essentially seems to be underway with the Russians in Riyadh. But without Ukraine, it's pretty much everyone involved here at the table agreeing to whatever's proposed. Slim chance it will stick.
Nick Peyton Walsh in Kyiv this morning. I'm getting deja vu, Deborah. I'm hearkening back to January of 2020, February of 2020, and the whole coronavirus story broke, the COVID-19 story. And when it broke, it didn't seem like a huge deal. Right. And President Trump came out and said, we have a few cases, it'll be gone. And we kind of treated it, with kid gloves. We didn't take it very seriously back in January and February of 2020. In fact, we came up with a sounder for coronavirus updates. Can you find it, Longoria? It was.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm looking through everything.
I found it.
Oh,
did you find it? Yeah, I got to find it.
All right, Deborah's going to. But the reason why I'm getting deja vu is I don't think at the time, well, I know at the time, we didn't know how serious that story was going to turn out. And I'm getting the same spidey sense now as we cover the Russia-Ukraine peace talks that I don't know if we fully grasp the importance of these talks right now and what's going on with the Russia-Ukraine war. And I think, God forbid, it turns out fine. And in 9 months, we can look back and be like, God, that was historical. That was amazing. They got it done. Or it could go the other way and be like, holy smokes, we're on the precipice of World War III. I'm getting that feeling right now that this is an important moment in history. I don't know which way it's going to go. Again, hopefully, peace, no more war, everything's fine, we're all friends. That could be an outcome. Or it could be a really bad outcome. But I'm having that feeling that we're watching history unfold before our very eyes. It's the same feeling that, looking back, we should have had in January and February of 2020.
We also had patient zero.
We did it. Well, Longoria started it all.
Yeah.
Just so you have this is how lightly we took the coronavirus pandemic back in February of 2020.
Coronavirus. COVID-19.
Like we made a sounder. Like that was high pitch Eric. And who was that? Michael Malborn? Who does the back end
I think
voice?
it was Scotty B, right?
Oh, Scotty B.
I think it was Scotty
Yeah,
B who did it. Yeah.
Like we didn't know it was going to be a big thing. And it turned out to be a big thing. We lost friends. We lost coworkers to that. But I want to hear that again. But back in January and February of 2020,
Coronavirus.
we play that
COVID-19.
when we would give an update. I think looking back, that was we were covering history, didn't know it. I'm getting the same feeling now as we're covering history. This whatever happens now. And granted, the Russia-Ukraine war has been going on for 3 years. However this ends will be in history books. Longoria's grandkids are going to be taught about what's going on right now. That's why I think it's very important that we continue to talk about this. We continue to give you updates, and we continue to monitor the progress of what's going on between Russia, Ukraine, the United States, European Union, Saudi Arabia. This could be a seminal moment in history. So we're not. So I'm telling you right now, Longoria, don't make a funny sounder.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we making a sounder?
That's Vinny's job now.
Yeah, I can't afford high pitch Eric to voice any more stuff. Scotty B. I got his number. He could voice some stuff, but we have to do serious sounders. All right, serious local story. We're going to update when we come back after news, weather, and traffic. The search continues in Lake Oconee for the missing boater. Taisha Fernandez was on one of the search vessels yesterday on the lake. She joins us live in studio next on the Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA
MCO.
Broken tent, magazines, old honey jars. Spring cleaning is a time to get organized. Kick your spring cleaning into gear and save when you choose Scana Energy as your natural gas provider. They have options for every family. Right now, you can even get up to $100 when you sign up. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/100 for details. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
At Cigna Healthcare, we're designing a better way to treat your aching bones and joints. And that starts with predicting problems before they even become problems, up to a year in advance, with up to 93% accuracy. When you save time avoiding surgeries you don't need, you can spend time doing the things you love. When it comes to healthcare, a better system means better outcomes for everyone. That's better by design. Learn more at Cigna.com/better.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Dr. Roof. A lot of parents upset this morning after months of speculation. The Fulton County School Board votes on closing popular schools that are performing well, but the district says have dwindling enrollment and whose buildings are old.
All those in favor to close Park Lane Elementary School. 4. All those opposed. 3. The motion carries 4-3.
And another 4-3 vote to close Spalding Drive Elementary as well. Some parents don't like the idea. The schools will close at the end of this school year, and the students will be rezoned to other nearby school districts or schools. Your weather for today, it's going to be mostly sunny, staying cold. Afternoon highs around 46, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. But a warm-up is on the way. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. Georgia's largest school district makes some decisions on school safety measures.
After trying out clear backpacks in some Gwinnett County schools, students report problems with durability, privacy, and most say they had no real impact on their overall sense of safety.
We are not going to be moving forward with a district-wide mandate for clear backpacks. However, we're not closing the door for schools that may want to implement it at the local level.
Chief of Schools Dr. Al Taylor says instead they recommend moving forward with installing weapons detection systems at middle and high schools and hiring more school resource officers for elementary schools. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
There will be a court hearing later today for the accused United Healthcare CEO killer Luigi Mangione. Attorney Ricky Kleinman says the defendant has something of a cult-like following.
There have been certain defendants that in the course of time have captivated the public interest.
And correspondent Kelly O'Grady has more on today's court hearing in New York.
Mangione faces 11 charges in New York, including terrorism-related murder charges and weapons offenses in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last December. Thompson, a husband and father of 2 from Minnesota, was shot in the back. Mangione has pleaded not guilty. He also faces multiple charges in Pennsylvania and in federal court after a 6-day manhunt ended with his arrest in western Pennsylvania.
Mangione expected in court just after 2 today. Well, with the cuts in federal government, Jim Ryan reports this morning it might mean a delay in you getting your tax refund.
A previous hiring freeze coupled with staffing cuts imposed by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, mean that delays in the processing of your paperwork and the issuance of any refund you're owed are almost inevitable. Tax professionals urge their clients to file early and to file electronically instead of by paper return and snail mail.
Update on the egg shortage. Turkey has agreed to send 15,000 tons of eggs to the United States. This after bird flu has forced the slaughter of roughly 160 million birds to help control the spread of the virus. The first shipment of eggs from Turkey expected by the end of this month. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 374 at 43,800. So the Dow's down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ also down slightly. So is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Andrew Seco is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Looking at a travel advisory rolling out tomorrow. Several right lanes down with a crash 75 south as you pass Highway 54. Things looking really tough approaching 675. You want to use 675 or Highway 4223 to get around that. Travel advisory number 2 on the southwest side. Several left lanes knocked out, slowing you down on the inner loop 285 northbound. Approaching Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. Last shot to merge off before hitting those delays is Cascade Road at exit 7. And our third travel advisory as you approach Truist Park. Several center lanes knocked out now with a crash 75 south of Whitty Hill Road. Exit 260 delays backdooring you all the way towards South Marietta Parkway. You want to use Highway 41 to get around that. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high 46. That's trending about 15 degrees below average. A hard freeze for tonight, lows in the mid-20s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 52. The warm-up continues on Sunday with sunny skies. Morning low 30, afternoon high 56.
It's 26 degrees in Alpharetta. Beaufort has 28. Conyers has 30 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good chilly Friday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:04, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. Whole family with us today. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Bag of Donuts screens your calls. Speaking of Vinny, still to come on the show, Vinny's exclusive one-on-one interview with Method Man. Political analyst Bill Crane's going to join us live at 10:35 talking about the Senate confirmations. And correspondent Jim Ryan, with those IRS layoffs, how does that impact our tax refunds? Jim's got some advice for us there, but always happy to have us joined live in studio by our friend from the third floor, Channel 2 Action News reporter Taisha Fernandez. Ty, good morning. So good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Since we discussed anything. I'm so
you're
glad
busy.
to be here.
You're so
I
busy.
am.
You're tough to. We had to book you months in advance.
Well, I had to be here today.
Well, it was ironic. You were listening to the show yesterday on your way to Lake Oconee, and you wanted Jordache jeans. They've been ordered, by the way. But you had a really interesting assignment yesterday. You went to Lake Oconee, and obviously the huge local story, the boating incident, and one body recovered, one still missing. You took part in the ongoing search yesterday. What was that experience like? What did you see when you got up there?
You know, DNR really wanted us to see what's going on because obviously about to hit the 2-week mark on when this couple disappeared. People have a lot of questions and they have a lot of assumptions and a lot of theories of what's going on. So DNR took us out on the boat, and let me tell you, it was choppy, it was windy, it was cold, we were getting wet, and the equipment that they use, that sonar, you know, the screens on the boat can't get wet. So just watching them, launch that, what they call a towfish into the water, and then, it's not a camera. It's basically, it catches sound waves off of different objects, and that's how they know something's there. They get images, they check it out, they know if it's a rock or some kind of other object, and they're just trolling that lake, which is, it goes across 5 counties.
Yeah,
but they're really
huge.
just looking in a 300-acre area, and it's just a little shocking that they have not found him yet. Not too shocking for them because they've done this before where it has taken this kind of time. But it has just been grueling to watch the volunteers, the professionals, the police, DNR, come back at the end of a day and just you see the looks on their faces that they just got nothing. And they're not feeling defeated yet, but I can tell you from what I saw, they are working hard.
Speaking of what you saw, describe for us, if you can, what that screen looks like. So they're obviously, limited visibility in the somewhat murky, choppy waters of the lake. What does that screen look like, and how can they identify what's in the water?
Think of a pontoon boat that has a bunch of TV screens on it and other electronics, and they're dropping down. It looks like a long cylinder, and that basically is what's going to send out the sound waves. They drop it down to the bottom. And remember, the bottom of this lake is a lot of forests.
Yeah.
Like there are different areas where there are tall trees coming pretty close to the surface, some areas where they're way down, huge rocks, things that have fallen in the lake before. So they troll down, and they just, when they get a hit off of what they think is an object, they can tell by the size and the sound waves, the frequency of them, what it actually is. And then they have dive teams too.
So that's if they see something that piques their interest,
They send the dive teams down. Because the dive teams cannot just go aimlessly down.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So did that happen at all when you were on the boat? Did they come up with something?
It didn't happen when we were in the boat.
Yeah.
They kept, what we saw was like big boulders. There's a lot of huge boulders down there. Like one was like 13 meters long.
Wow.
and like 30 meters wide. So it's like they're seeing things, but not what they're trying to see. And then, the cold has made it difficult because the cadaver dogs cannot sense human scent in the cold, because what happens is the human body lets off like a certain gas, and it comes up, it evaporates off the water, and the molecules, that's what the dogs smell. So if the air is colder than the water, they can't smell anything. So the dogs have not been out for a few days.
Do the dogs
the dogs were catching hits.
So if it warms up, the dogs go on the boat as well?
Yep, they stand on the bow of the boat.
That.
So they're not in the pontoon boats. They're in different boats.
Mm-hmm.
They're in more like fishing type boats. They stand at the bow, and they're just like incredible. These dogs are incredible.
No
They
doubt.
catch a hit. They'll bring a second dog to see if that dog catches the hit. And if they do, and they send the divers down, they send the cameras down. They try to focus on that area.
Channel 2's Chaisha Fernandez joining us live in studio on the Mark Aram Show, fresh off the search effort yesterday in Lake Oconee. And for folks new to the area that might not know this, what do you mean a forest? Lake Oconee is a man-made lake.
Man-made lake.
Every lake in Georgia is a man-made lake, so they flooded this area, which makes these searches that much more difficult. Where does the investigation stand right now? I believe the woman whose body recovered, her funeral is today, I believe?
No, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday, okay.
Yep.
Where does the investigation stand with her missing fiance?
So that's where police are giving us pieces. Well, I should say deputies are giving us pieces and pieces at a time. So we know the timeline before he got on the boat. You know, it was a normal day. He left his Cobb County home. He picked up his boat in Hogansville. He drove to the lake. They got Burger King, went out on the lake around 3:30. They were only out for a couple hours before somebody saw the boat circling.
Just spinning in the middle of the lake.
Yes, deputies have lots of concerns as to why both of them got on such a small boat with an engine that didn't come on the boat. So this is a boat that you order that does not come with an engine. So somebody put an 18 horsepower engine on that boat. And according to the Putnam County Sheriff, that was just way too powerful. If you're going to put any motor on that, it should have been a 10 horsepower.
Interesting.
Right. So I believe the investigation is going a little that way as to like they must believe something went wrong with that boat if they still believe he's in the water. And they're very adamant about him still being in that water because we have probed with questions that the community is asking, you know, have you searched any other leads? And according to them, they have. They've looked at phone records. They've looked at other things. They're not really getting into detail about what they're looking at. But according to these investigators, and there's a lot of them on this, they keep saying they're confident he's in that lake. So that's really all we can go with.
Interesting. And a couple of the things that stood out to me in the information that's been released in this investigation. First off, the missing boater's shoes found on shore.
They weren't found on shore.
Oh, okay.
No, they were found floating in the water, and they weren't even next to each other.
Yeah.
I know it's so confusing with the details in this case.
Well,
but
I'm glad you clarified.
According to the sheriff, they were not found on the shore. They were found in the water. And if you think of this as like a triangle, right? A 300-acre triangle. So at one point the boat was found. Another point, Joycelyn Wilson's body was found. And another point, the shoes were found, but not near the shore. And they were not next to each other, according to the sheriff. He estimated that it was like maybe 20 yards apart.
Okay.
And he was very adamant about no mud being on the shoes. I believe he said they were untied, and just no evidence on the shoes that they ever made it to shore.
You mentioned Miss Wilson. Unfortunately, she lost her life. Two things that stood out for me was when they found her body, she was holding her cell phone.
Yes.
And there was still air in her lungs.
Yes.
Can we
And I can give you a little bit, another tidbit I learned a couple days ago. She had her phone in her hand. The sheriff said she had air in her lungs. That's why she was floating. But he also said there was a little bit of water in her lungs.
Okay.
But he also said it wasn't enough to call it a drowning. It would be like if your body was floating in the water, maybe some got in there. But when he mentioned that part, that it does make you think like, well, what happened for her to still be gripping her phone?
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of questions.
Funeral yesterday, but does that mean the medical examiner has finished the autopsy?
I was told by the sheriff that the GBI has finished just the GBI lab. The GBI is really not involved with this, but everything goes to their lab. So they have done the autopsy. It is finished. No one will comment on what they found besides the air in the lungs and a little bit of water.
What really humanizes this story, I mean, it's just so tragic, and the fact that the second victim hasn't been found yet, and raises all these questions. But what was found in the boat, right? So the gentleman's wallet was there, and a cookie cake. Like they were going to celebrate his 50th birthday. They were engaged to be married. Like that just, that's a gut punch. Hearing what was found in the boat, that really hits close to home.
Yeah, and the sheriff's office, they have his truck. They have all of his things.
Yeah.
And when people bring up different conspiracy theories, I always just make sure they know the facts that, all of his stuff is there. So It'll be interesting to see where the investigation goes. I asked DNR yesterday, how long are they going to do this? Because they have game wardens from all over the state.
Yeah.
State troopers are doing this, Putnam
Volunteers,
County, Greene County,
too, right?
volunteers,
Yeah.
Westminster faculty, students. There's a lot of people involved in this and a lot of resources. So they said they're going to exhaust all resources until they find him.
Remarkable. Thank you for sharing your experience yesterday.
course.
That's unbelievable. Final question before I let you go, Ty. I know you actually have important stuff to cover today.
Yeah.
You were on the DNR boat, but you mentioned all the other, volunteers and other jurisdictions helping. How big was the search party that you witnessed yesterday?
It's interesting, right? So when you see them all leave from the shore, it seems like a lot of people and a lot of boats. But when you get out there, they are so spread apart that you don't feel like it's that many people out there. That's how big this lake is. And there's so many different corners and coves and turns. And, I was really paying attention to it when we were on the way out. There's just so many things. It's not just a circular body of water that they're searching. I think when people have not been out there themselves, it's really hard to get a scope of what that lake is like. It's kind of like trying to figure out in your brain, what's $1 trillion? Like, can you really wrap your mind around what's $1 trillion? Right. So can you really wrap your mind around a 5-county lake and what they're doing? So it was good to see what they're doing, even though we were just out there for a few hours. They're out there for 12 hours at a time, going on 2 weeks now. So this is an extensive search.
I know you're going to follow the investigation. Please keep us posted. Taisha Fernandez, Channel 2 Action News. Must follow on Instagram. Tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me at Taisha Fernandez TV, and it's TYISHA, Fernandez with an S at the end.
It's an
Yes.
S, people. I can't vouch for the Taisha Fernandez with a Z.
I know so many emails are in La La Land. They go to Taisha Fernandez with a Z, but it's an S.
Thanks for spending time with us, Taisha.
Thanks,
Have a great
Mark.
weekend. Quick break. We'll be right back. It's the Mark Arum Show, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
Raining pretty heavy. Crash still on the right lane, 85 northbound Hamilton Mill.
Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Pausing for a long, slow ride to I-20. Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Not often we can say this, but 285 is looking great.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Spring cleaning will be here before you know it, so now's the time to call Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Take advantage of their pre-spring sale and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $129. And when you mention me, Chris Chandler, you'll get a staircase cleaned for free. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet cleaned and a staircase for only $129. Just tell them Chris Chandler sent you. Schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Double down on big savings. For one day only, February 22nd, 2025, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Buy 2 new South windows and doors. Get 2 free. Plus 2 years of 0% interest financing. If paid in full within 24 months. Bring your window and door measurements to upgrade your home with more security, energy efficiency, and impact protection. Stop by our showroom on February 22nd, 2025 to get this deal. Offer is subject to terms and conditions. Visit newsouthwindow.com/222 for full details.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Right now, select varieties are buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we know that convenience is key. That's why we've made mattress shopping simple and stress-free. Shop in-store or online, whatever works best for you. No high-pressure sales tactics or fake promotions. Our prices are clearly marked, and we openly compare our products to other brands. With our streamlined selection, you won't be overwhelmed by duplicate options, and our 365-day comfort policy provides for peace of mind. Experience the ease of buying factory direct. Visit OMF today for better sleep tonight.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
10:22 on the Mark Arum Show. Travel advisory, West Side Perimeter. The news not good, Andrew Seco.
No, it is not. Those delays heading into Mableton, taking you all the way back into East Point. Several left lanes knocked out. 285 North. The inner loop at Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. Big crash here. Your last shot to merge off is exit 5 to Langford Parkway. From there, you can hop on the downtown connector, save you a little bit of time. And travel advisory number 2 still active. Several right lanes knocked out through Morrow 75 South before I-675. This sports sponsored by Robert Half. 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring today. Robert Half is here to help. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
I have sinned against you, my Lord, and I would ask that your precious blood would wash and cleanse every stain.
That was Jimmy Swaggart, 37 years ago today, the TV preacher tearfully confessing to a transgression. He would not specify. He told his congregation he would step down temporarily from the pulpit. Are those televangelists still a thing?
I think you can still see some on TV.
Really?
They're not my thing, but there's still some out there.
They were everywhere when I was a kid. You know, you turn on.
We had less channels then.
Yeah, but the fourth channel, whatever it was, on the weekends, you had those televangelists. I remember this. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Great stuff from Taisha. Bill Crane's going to join us in a second about Senate confirmations. I remember, so this was late 70s, early 80s, and we had three channels, ABC, NBC, CBS, and then a fourth random channel, maybe a fifth. And my mom's friend's husband would watch him, just, wouldn't donate money, but would just watch it out of, for entertainment or inspiration. I don't know what he was doing. And I forgot. I can picture the guy's face. He wasn't Jimmy Swaggart, but he would be on the air on a Saturday morning and try to raise money for his church. And he'd preach and do this, and he was unhappy with the amount of money that they were raising. So he says, I'm just going to sit here and not say a word until we get $5,000. And he just sat there in silence, just like staring at the camera. And it worked. Like 3 minutes later, they were like, all right, we got the $5,000. All right,
Maybe that's how I'm going to do negotiations now. I'm just going to sit there and stare at you.
I remember.
Can we do it on the radio?
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit here and say nothing until everyone listens.
Can I be the first ever Jewish televangelist?
Let's do it.
We'll jump
get some
on
money.
that. Yeah. Because I am, familiar with the Old Testament. Speaking of the Old Testament, Moses, of course, parted the Red Sea. Archaeologists, researchers have some new information on Moses' parting of the Red Sea, Deborah Green.
I think they found the actual spot of where he could have parted the Red Sea, which was pretty cool when I read this. I got very excited when I read this. So they found these particular things called brine pools at the bottom of the Red Sea as they're doing this discovery. And they're very rare. They're very salty, and they're a little bit deeper than the rest of the area that around it. And they're saying in these pools particularly, they're able to find history that goes back farther than anywhere else. So they're able to dig down and see like, oh, you could have had a flood here, an earthquake here, a tsunami here, all from this brine pool. And so they're comparing it to like, well, this is exactly where people would have crossed over. Like, how would they have gotten here?
Sure.
This must have been where Moses parted the Red Sea.
Interesting. So there's the theory's always been, the modern theories is there must have been an earthquake and a tsunami. That Moses, whatever happened, there was an earthquake in the area, and the sea went up and out and allowed Moses to cross the Red Sea. And then when they were following him, the Egyptians were following him, the sea came back down, looking for a logical explanation of how that happened. Another one was like, oh, there's a sandbar. You ever seen a sandbar?
Yeah, but I feel like a sandbar is not big enough.
Well, I don't know how many Israelis were fleeing with Moses. But if you ever, when we used to go to Maine in the summer, there was a sandbar out in front of the house we'd rent, and you had to hurry the heck up because the sandbar, once high tide came in, that sandbar went away quick. So maybe it was a big Red Sea sandbar. But I love that you pulled up some history on you know how much I love biblical archaeology. So. Interesting stuff. Keep us posted on that, Deborah Green. Sabrina has got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, political analyst Bill Crane's going to join us live, talking local politics and batting 1,000. President Trump in the Senate confirmations. The latest, of course, Kash Patel in depth with political analyst Bill Crane next on The Mark Arum Show.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best, just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000. Or visit us at TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Raise your hand if you've already turned on the heat because of the dropping temperatures. I'm raising my hand. It's Mark Arum here. I held out as long as I could, cranked up my furnace from Reliable Heating and Air. Speaking of which, did you know you can get any size furnace from Reliable Heating and Air, just $59.99 a month, and ask about their clean air upgrades. Get your free consultation by visiting ReliableAir.com. Over 240,000 homeowners, including me, have taken advantage of their Comfort as a Service program and saved thousands on heating and cooling systems, water heaters, generators, and more. Low monthly payments and all future repairs, maintenance, even filters, no additional charge for life. Plus, next day installation guarantee, or they pay you 5 Amazing promo right now. Any size furnished, just $59.99 a month, and ask about their clean air upgrades. Just go to reliableair.com and book your free consultation today.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 40% off, plus kids sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
JIC, Flat Face Seal, BSP, and DIN. If you know what these are, then listen up.
I'm Victoria Holloway. We can replicate hose assembly on site with Mobile Hydraulics of Georgia.
Call 770-HYD-HOSE or try our website, hydhose.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. Later today, the man accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Luigi Mangione, making his first court appearance since December.
Mangione has garnered a massive wave of popularity, this week issuing his first statement through a website created by his defense team, saying the support has transcended political, racial, and even class divisions. And donations continue to pour into his defense fund, which has now raised more than $500,000.
And Trevor Alt reports the hearing today could result in a trial date being set. Check back for updates. Your weather, mostly sunny, staying cold. Afternoon highs only around 46, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. 1 year ago tomorrow, Laken Riley was killed jogging on the University of Georgia campus in Athens. Her death sparked calls for more campus safety. Daniel Silk is with public safety at UGA there in Athens. He says that they have made a lot of improvements since that tragedy.
The increase in campus safety ambassadors, overall 21% increase in police personnel, a 28% increase in the number of students and parents and employees who have signed up for the UGA Safe app. There's a lot of good things going on.
The man who killed Riley, Jose Ibarra, was convicted and sentenced to life without parole. New legislation filed at the state capitol would allow residents to get money off of their property taxes if they show their property lost value or that they had to make modifications because their local government did not enforce certain laws, from clearing homeless encampments to immigration policies.
We're just trying to get local governments to enforce the dang law.
Athens Republican Representative Houston Gaines sponsoring the bill. Opponents say this isn't the way to address the issues. This just in, there's been an arrest now in the theft of former UJ quarterback Carson Beck's home. Police have arrested Tyquan Anderson in Miami for stealing Beck's Lamborghini and Mercedes and his girlfriend's Range Rover. Police are still looking for 3 other suspects. A new report claims President Trump will soon be taking over the U.S. Postal Service. Jay Gray has more.
For the 250 years that it's been around, the post office has been an independent agency. Now, though, the Washington Post reporting overnight that President Trump is getting ready to dissolve the post office into his commerce agency.
And the report says that President Trump is expected to issue an executive order to fire members of the United States Postal Service Governing Board. Board members tell the Washington Post they plan to fight the executive order and will sue the White House if Trump tries to remove board members or change the agency's independent status. And the New York Yankees are changing their infamous facial hair policy. The team will now allow players to have well-groomed beards starting this season. The Yankees have barred players from having facial hair other than a mustache since the 1970s. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 368 at 43,808. So the Dow's down almost a full percent. NASDAQ's down more than 0.5%, and so is the S&P. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Andrew Seco is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
In the brake light battle on the west side of things, looks like it's coming to an end. All lanes have been opened up with this crash 285 north, the inner loop at Hollow Parkway, exit 12, but that back door still all the way back into East Point. Your last shot to merge off before hitting the stoppage, exit 5 to Langford Parkway. From there, you can hop on the downtown connector. And we are still slowing and going out of Morrow. Travel advisory still active. Right lane trouble. 75 south of Highway 138. Making it really tough heading into Stockbridge. You want to use 675 or Highway 4223 to get around. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Sunny skies and chilly for today with a high of 46. That's trending about 15 degrees below average for this afternoon. Another hard freeze for tonight, lows in the mid-20s.
Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 52. On Sunday, staying cool and dry with morning lows in the 30s, daytime highs in the mid-50s.
It's 27 degrees in Woodstock. Lilburn has 29, and it's 27 in Sandy Springs. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Get the WSB radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
If you have the WSB radio app, then you saw the breaking news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
See the same voices that are demanding a ceasefire in Gaza post October 7th, then what? Oppose peace in Europe?
That's White House National Security Advisor Michael Waltz talking at CPAC. We'll update the latest on Russia, Ukraine, and Israel and Hamas. But next, political analyst Bill Crane joins us live on the Mark Arum Show.
Heavy rain and severe storms have impacted our area again. How did your roof hold up? Hi, it's Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix-It Show here. Water is your home's #1 enemy. I recommend you schedule a free roof analysis with my roofer, Findlay Roofing. The roof guys. Check your attic, ceilings, drywall, and chimney. Any dripping water, wet spots, or water streaks? If yes, think of Findlay first. Get peace of mind with no obligation and no charge. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
If I said to focus your energy, where would you start? Let's say you run a business, a school campus, a hospital, or a government facility. Finding ways to save can be overwhelming, but Georgia Power has energy efficiency tips and rebates to help. Things like improving lighting with LEDs, making HVAC upgrades, adding building controls, and more. Look, you've got a business to run and numbers to hit. Georgia Power can help you focus your energy where it matters most. Learn more at georgiapower.com/biz.
So what's going on with the market regarding interest rates? This is Scott Slate. Seems each week we're getting new predictions. If you've been waiting for the right time to buy a new house or refinance, the time is now. And here's why. Talking to my friends at Myland about this, they bring up a good point. Imagine rates drop by a full percentage point. What do you think will happen to home prices? They're likely to go up even higher. We'll be back in bidding wars. So the home you're considering buying today could actually be more expensive, even though the rate might be lower. The best option is to act now. Buy the home you want, and remember that Myland will have your back once rates come down. Myland makes the refinance process easy, and they'll be there to help you lower your payment when the timing is right. Call Myland. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS in Georgia Residential Mortgage License C148769. Located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
More, much more than this, I did it my
10:37 on this chilly Friday edition of the Mark Arum Show. Still to come, Jim Ryan from ABC. What the IRS layoffs mean to you and me when it comes to our tax refund. Rory O'Neill's going to join us on the possibility of a $5,000 Doge stimulus check. But right now, joining us at this time, as he does every Friday live, political analyst Bill Crane. Bill, good morning. Happy Friday, my friend.
Good morning, sir. In the garage, but walking your way.
Oh,
How are
excellent. Do you want me to put you on hold and wait till you get in the studio?
Well, why don't you ask a question? I think I can walk and talk at the same time. It's chewing bubble gum that I have the problem with. If we work that in, it's all three of them together.
Understood. All right, we'll start with Kelly Loeffler. Got another Georgian confirmed to the Trump cabinet. I should mention, Miss Loeffler will join us live next week on the show. Heading up the SBA, the good fit for Miss Loeffler there?
I think it is. She's an entrepreneur. She and her husband, Jeff Sprecher, run and own the New York Stock Exchange, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, and she was running, in addition to a WNBA franchise that she had earlier, the BOT currency exchange, which was one of the larger cryptocurrency exchanges in the United States. She also obviously ran for the United States Senate and was appointed to the United States Senate to replace Johnny Isakson. But she's, did narrowly pass vote, and both our two Georgia senators, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, did vote against her confirmation, but she's in the job, and I think she'll be passionate about it.
Yeah, I noted yesterday on the show the fact that there were only 98 votes cast. There were two Republican senators that didn't vote. Was that a protest non-vote, or were they just not on the Senate floor for the confirmation there vote with Kelly Loeffler? So were they just not there, or was that a protest no vote, Bill?
It wasn't a Mitch McConnell protest vote.
Okay.
Am I on the right?
Yeah, you're good. You're on the air.
It wasn't a Senator Mitch McConnell protest vote, but I do think there were 2 Republican senators who were less than enamored of her in their time in the Senate.
Interesting. Okay, so they didn't vote no. They just didn't vote. But
They weren't on the floor.
Gotcha.
Put it that way.
She got confirmed. Another confirmed, and I know this one caught you off guard. Kash Patel gets confirmation. Just 2 Republican no votes. Collins and Murkowski, I believe. But he is now the head of the FBI. I know that you didn't think that was coming.
Yeah, I got that one wrong. I thought that would be probably the one that would blow Donald Trump's 1,000 batting average.
Yeah.
Because he has no law enforcement experience, because he didn't work in the U.S. Justice Department. And I'm not saying that you have to have relevant experience to the agency, but he's never run a large organization. The FBI is pretty complicated and serves as the chief law enforcement agency, not just for the United States, but for all of the U.S. attorney's offices. And clearly there's a lot of people that believe there's politicization within the agency, that they shouldn't be doing national intelligence gathering work, they shouldn't be doing international work. And I don't disagree with all that, but it would have been, I think, probably a smarter decision for Donald Trump, being that he ran on a law and order campaign, to have someone that has a history in law enforcement and understands working with other agencies, et cetera.
We had congressional reporter Scott McFarland on in D.C. earlier in the show talking about the Kash Patel confirmation. And Scott thinks, it was a 10-year term, right? So it would stretch different presidencies. But now it seems like the precedent set that whoever the new president is, they can install their new director at the FBI. That's the way it's going to look like going forward.
Well, back to Robert Mueller, who did serve his 10-year term and was appointed by George W. Bush. There's an intent all the way back to Herbert Hoover to depoliticize the agency, to have an FBI director's term span multiple presidencies. So as you said, a 10-year appointment is what that job comes with. Christopher Wray was appointed by Donald Trump and resigned under Donald Trump. So it has become more politicized in recent years, and that probably isn't going to change anytime soon.
So we're going to see, no matter who takes the Oval in 2028, they'll...
Not necessarily.
J.D. Vance wins.
Let's say if it's J.D. Vance or another Republican who's following and taking a page from the Trump playbook, if Mr. Patel has made some of the changes he's saying he will, then he probably gets to stay on. But you can force that change by making it very clear that you're going to make budget cuts, you're going to do other things, and that's why Christopher Wray, for the strength of the agency, went ahead and stood down before Donald Trump even was sworn in.
Political analyst Bill Crane joining us live in studio on the Mark Arum Show. Speaking of 2028, I talked about this with Eric Erickson the other day. Never too early to dip your toe in the water and think of possible candidates for the presidency. And I saw some early polling done, and Governor Brian Kemp's name was floated out there, along with J.D. Vance, along with Ron DeSantis. Is that in Governor Kemp's future, a run for the Oval?
There's certainly discussion. I believe ultimately that Governor Kemp, and I've not spoken with him recently, will run for that U.S. Senate seat against Jon Ossoff in 2026. He will finish his second term of governor in 2026. He's term limited. He hasn't stopped fundraising. Marty Kemp, the First Lady, has softened her very direct opposition to anti-DC and has kind of said things that would lead one to believe they're at least considering it. But they still have 3 young adult daughters, marriages ahead, grandchildren ahead, and he loves Athens, Georgia, which is where their home is.
Yeah.
He loves Georgia. I don't see that transition. He's certainly capable of it, and I think he'll be discussed. But I don't think ultimately he will run for president.
I would assume the Ossoff camp is like, run for president, don't run for the Senate seat, right? Because that's going to be a tough.
Yeah, the Ossoff camp
defend.
is Brian Kemp run for president, Marjorie Taylor Greene run for the
U.S. right? Because that, I mean, I don't have any polling data, but I would imagine Kemp would be favored right now against Ossoff.
And there has been polling, and not by media outlets, but it's out there, and that's one of the reasons that the Ossoff campaign is already raising money now.
Yeah.
Using both the potential of Brian Kemp and Marjorie Taylor Greene getting in the race, and they're rather healthily raising money now.
Well, just what we saw in November, a Republican, just a what's the term I'm using for? A generic Republican would poll well against Ossoff, but you put a popular Republican like Governor Kemp in there, the numbers would be even higher.
I think the Democratic Party needs to take a hard look at what are the issues, not just their candidate, that cause them to lose swing voters. And if they can't find a set of issues that bring swing voters back, it's going to be a long haul for the Democratic Party. And Donald Trump has his own populist appeal, and there's a certain group of voters that are with him regardless of party. But independents, non-aligned voters, libertarian, broken his way almost 7 out of 10.
Yeah. It was huge. One more confirmation. Linda McMahon, former guest of the Mark Arum Show, heading up which we might think
the soon-to-be former
Department of Education. Is Trump going to continue batting 1,000 with Linda?
I don't think she's the one that breaks the camel's back. So, yeah, I think she gets across. She's done well in her hearings when senators specifically have asked her, okay, do you believe Congress has a role if we decide to dismantle or disorganize or turn this department into a federal grants agency, a grant pass-through? And she's basically said, yeah, Jimmy Carter was president, but Congress was involved in its creation. So if it's dismantled, obviously, we'll need Congress's help in turning it into a block grant agency. So she said the right things, and she's nowhere as Trump-like as her husband.
Do you think that there will be no more Department of Education?
What will happen is the money, the bulk of the funds, like Pell Grants and special education funding, and a number of other categories, school lunches, those dollars will flow. But instead of being administered with a lot of strings attached and coming from a federal agency with a lot of federal oversight, there are people that work for the Georgia Department of Education just to deal with the U.S. Department of Education to move the money through. So that'll become a block grant agency with those dollars just flowing straight through. When you cut the bureaucracy, you will obviously see a lot of layoffs, and that is a rather large bureaucracy based in Washington, D.C.
Speaking of layoffs, firings, DOJ, obviously the headline here was the CDC, but there are, I think, over 300,000 federal workers in Georgia. What kind of impact do you think we're going to see in the Peach State with these DOJ firings?
There'll be some pain points. I mean, Atlanta has historically been one of the largest, Metro Atlanta, concentrations of federal government employees outside of Washington, D.C. in the country, about 70,000 federal government employees in downtown and midtown. They're all coming back into offices, too. That was another directive of President Trump, is to get out of working from home and during the pandemic and move back into the real estate. But with the CDC, the Internal Revenue Service, all have large presences here. And those, starting with those probationary employees who were dispatched a week ago that had less than a year of service, 2 years in some cases, like the CDC, the question will be, yes, there's going to be savings, but how much do you cut into bone? How much do you cut into the mission? And we don't have the answer to that yet. But Georgia has, both in the defense industry, 3 million civil service employees nationwide, 3 million Defense Department employees. I think we have 11 military bases still, so we will feel a disproportionate impact.
Seeing some pushback yesterday. I don't know if you saw the video from the town hall meeting up in Roswell. Congressman McCormick, getting some pushback from his constituents. Yes, are we going to see more of that?
I don't. You and I both know a lot of federal government employees. And in fact, during this process, I found out some people work for federal agencies I didn't even know. There's no easy way to be fired.
Yeah.
Private sector, public sector. This is a shift. Used to be, the thought was, state or federal government job, you were set for life. You may not make the highest salary, but you had the benefits and you were set for life.
Security.
Yeah.
Security there.
That formula is going to change. And so I would prefer a different approach, maybe an agency at a time. Today, the president announced he's taking over the U.S. Postal Service.
Yes.
We heard yesterday the post office that's nearest me is going to go to limited hours. There's, you can't cut. Their goal was $2 trillion from a $7 trillion budget without feeling pain.
Yeah.
And I do think this also sets up, when we have some successful cuts that don't crash and burn the agency, a discussion about the entitlements and the transfer payments, which are really what drives federal government budget. Welfare, Medicaid, Medicare, or the bigger ones. And right now, hands off. VA benefits, a discussion about means testing, a discussion about raising the retirement age for Social Security. I mean, you and I are not there yet.
No.
But
I'm
it may be moved further up. Yeah, it may be moved. I'm 64. It may be moved to 70.
I heard Clark Howard say he's waiting until 70 to get the most bang for his buck. I don't plan on being alive much past 70, so I'm probably going to dip in if
and
it's
you're going to be
available.
sitting on that microphone right until you go. So,
knock on wood, Bill. Political analyst Bill Crane joins us live every Friday. Bill, as always, appreciate your time, my friend. Stay warm.
I'll try.
All right. I'll get you a sweater if you want, Bill.
I'll take a sweater.
All right, Mark Arum Show sweater. We'll be right back. 95.5 WSB.
When there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all and I stood tall and did it my way.
The Morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
All lanes being held. 575 north at Highway 92, exit 7 rolling.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Officials diverting you onto Mansell Road.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Atlanta's biggest and best jewelry financing special is back at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. Through this weekend, get 0% APR financing for 5 years on any new purchase at D. Geller & Son. You could get a 1-carat natural diamond in a platinum designer setting as low as $150 a month. Gift shopping or even treating yourself, you can get a 2-carat anniversary band or a 5-carat tennis bracelet for under $45 a month. Shop with us in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Do you frequently ask family and friends to repeat themselves? Do you struggle to understand conversations when you're at a restaurant, missing important life moments? Hi, this is Dr. Prince from Atlanta Hearing Associates, and we can help you hear better again. At Atlanta Hearing Associates, we combine the latest technology with compassionate care given by doctors of audiology to help you successfully manage hearing loss and get back to enjoying your life to the fullest. We offer hearing tests for individuals of all ages with easy online scheduling at hereatlanta.com. Symptoms: your hearing is muffled or words are not clear. It's difficult to hear when there is background noise. You turn the TV volume way up. If you noticed any of these symptoms, it's time to have a hearing test. Come on in and see us at Atlanta Hearing Associates. Easy online scheduling is available at hereatlanta.com. HEAR Atlanta.com.
Plumbing. What is it? One dictionary defines it as moving water through pipes to do things and stuff. My kid's dictionary, by the way. But sometimes things like leaks, clogs, or corrosion mean your plumbing system goes, "What?" That's when you book Castile. Our expert technicians have seen it all and fixed it all with same-day service. And if it's a bigger job like needing a new water heater, our flexible payment options and money-saving warranties make it easy. We define that as peace of mind. And stuff. Book today at CastileAir.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, over 3 million people called Morgan & Morgan in their time of need. And with over 1 million of those calls coming from previous clients, friends, and family.
My name is Jason Williams. It was a rainy day, and I got hit from behind by a lady that was doing somewhere over 100 miles an hour is what they were saying. I've never dealt with anything like this before. Everybody that I talked to kept saying the same name, which was Morgan & Morgan. I was on hold for maybe 15 seconds. When they come back and said, "Jason, we will absolutely take your case." As a non-tech savvy guy, any question that I had, if I called, text, or emailed, they got right back to me. They made it as easy for me as it could have been.
Thank you for trusting us. We've become the largest injury firm in the world because we've won a lot. The word is out. Size matters. Reputation matters. We're America's largest injury law firm for a reason. With over 900 dedicated attorneys and climbing, we're ready wherever you are, whatever you need. The choice is easy. We're just a phone call away. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief. The best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay, it's GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Estella's Pharma.
10:54 on the Mark Arum Show. Finally, some better news on I-285. Live with the latest, Andrew Seco.
Better news indeed. All lanes back open. 285 north, the inner loop at Hollowell Parkway, exit 12, but the brake light's still stretching you back towards Cascade Road. So for now, keep using the downtown connector. This report sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Save at Whole Foods Market. Get 30% off Momofuku, Lotus Foods, and Maya Camille select sauces, soups, and sides with Prime through February 25th. While supplies last, shop in store or online. Terms apply. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
And maybe I seem a bit confused.
You recognize this theme song?
Yeah, maybe.
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs. Yeah, Frasier. When Frasier was airing, eggs were really cheap. You could have tossed salad and scrambled eggs. Anyway, Kelsey Grammer turned 70 years old today. He was in a show about he starred as the Chicago mayor. I forgot the name of the show, but it was awesome. He was like this corrupt Chicago mayor. I don't know why they canceled it. It was in a phenomenal show. But
Boss?
Boss. And I remember Kasim Reed was then the Atlanta mayor, and he came in for an interview with Scott Slade. And I said, was talking to him in the hall. I'm like, have you seen Boss on Showtime, I think it was, with Kelsey Grammer about this corrupt Chicago mayor? And he gave me a side eye like, what are you trying to say? I was like, no, it's just a great show. Not that you're corrupt, but it was a great show. Anyway, happy 70th birthday to Frasier, Kelsey Grammer. Just now, it appears that Luigi Mangione is entering the courtroom in New York City. Nikki Battiste has a preview.
Mangione faces 11 charges in New York, including terrorism-related murder charges and weapons offenses in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last December. Thompson, a husband and father of two from Minnesota, was shot in the back. Mangione has pleaded not guilty. He also faces multiple charges in Pennsylvania and in federal court after a 6-day manhunt ended with his arrest in western Pennsylvania.
This is the first time we're going to see Mangione since this all went down. Mangione was referenced by comedian Sam Morrill yesterday at the Tabernacle. I'm going to paraphrase. So Mangione obviously garnered remarkably cult status right after this horrific assassination attempt. But, women online were like, oh, my God, he's so attractive, like crazy stuff. And Sam Morrell yesterday said, because Sam has the thick eyebrows like Luigi, he goes, my dating profile got a lot more hits after that because of the thick eyebrows. So anyway, Mangione's there. He's got a website set up. He's already raised like $400,000 for his defense fund. Is he pleading? He's pled not guilty? That's
what his defense said, not guilty.
I don't know what the defense would be there. I mean, it's on video, right? Unless he's claiming that's not him on that security video. Anyway, Luigi Mangione in court today. We'll monitor that situation. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, massive layoffs at the IRS. Is that good news or bad news for those of us about to file our taxes? ABC News' Jim Ryan breaks down the story for us next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
JIC, Flat Face Seal, BSP, and DIN. If you know what these are, then listen up.
I'm Victoria Holloway. We can replicate hose assembly on site with Mobile Hydraulics of Georgia.
Call 770-HYD-HOSE or try our website, HYDHOSE.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Georgia farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. A federal judge saying he cannot grant a motion to temporarily block the Trump administration's mass firings of federal workers. Unions representing some of those workers filed a lawsuit asking to stop the administration's actions. CBS's Weijia Jiang has been following, and she has more.
The U.S. District Court judge here in Washington essentially said that the lawsuit that these labor unions filed amounted to an employment dispute, and they have to file it in a different way. Essentially, he said it was outside of his jurisdiction. But it's important to note he did not rule on the legality of what the administration is doing and how they were doing it. He's simply saying that he is not the right person to be deciding this.
And speaking of the cuts, with cuts at the IRS, it may mean a delay in getting your tax refund this year. Tax preparers urging you to file early. Your weather for today, it's going to be cold again. Sunny, though. Afternoon highs around 46. There is a warm-up on the way. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a matter of minutes. In Gwinnett County, the school district ditches plans for clear backpacks after getting results of a pilot project.
Students say they don't feel like the clear backpacks had any real impact on their overall sense of safety. Chief of Schools Dr. Al Taylor also says many reported issues with the backpack's durability, especially zippers and straps. And then there's the cost.
What we found very early on is that price points for durability probably are closest like the $80 range.
Instead, school officials will pursue weapons detection systems for middle and high schools and hiring more school resource officers for elementary schools. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta-based Delta Airlines says that it wants to correct misinformation that's spreading on social media about the experience of the piloting crew on that plane that ended up upside down on a runway in Canada.
The captain was hired in October of 2007 and claims that he failed training events are also false. Delta says it is not true, as some have claimed that training failures caused the captain to not get a pilot position at Delta Airlines.
Alex Stone reports that Delta also refutes claims that the first officer failed training, and claims that she is a new hire are also false. She has been with Delta for more than a year. One man's arrested in connection with the theft of UGA quarterback Carson Beck's high-end vehicles. Police have arrested Tyquan Anderson in Miami for stealing Beck's Lamborghini and Mercedes. Police still looking for 3 other suspects. Update on the egg shortage. Turkey has agreed to send 15,000 tons of eggs here to the United States. This after bird flu has forced the slaughter of roughly 160 million birds to help control the spread of the virus. The first shipment of those eggs from Turkey expected to be here by the end of the month. Home sales fell sharply in January as prices hit an all-time high for the month. According to the National Association of Realtors, sales of pre-owned homes declined 4.9% from December to an annual rate of just over 4 million units. Now, the group's chief economist saying that housing affordability remains a major challenge due to the combination of high prices and mortgage rates. Tight supply is also a factor, with the median price of a home sold in January at nearly $397,000. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow is down 367 at 43,809. So the Dow's down almost a full percent. NASDAQ's down more than 0.5%, and so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good Friday morning, Sabrina. Dealing with some new trouble where we had earlier trouble cleared. 285 northbound, the inner loop at I-20. They're getting a stall out of the left lane there. Still slow back toward Cascade Road. Also on the west side, I just found left lane crash. 20 eastbound, Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49. You're slow back into Lithia Springs. And DOT checking on a new crash into Cobb County reported in the left lane. 285 and northbound, the outer loop at Chamblee Tucker Road, exit 34. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high 46. That's trending about 15 degrees below average. A hard freeze for tonight, lows in the mid-20s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 52. The warm-up continues on Sunday with sunny skies. Morning low 30, afternoon high 56.
Hope you have your jacket. It's cold out there. Sugar Hill, you have 33 degrees. It's 34 in Tucker. And Peachtree City has 33 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
Quick follow-up to the egg story Sabrina just told you about. Are getting eggs imported from Turkey because of the shortage here and the bird flu. Via the Piccadilly text line, Deborah, Smile Mark McKay went to Waffle House this morning and sent me a picture of his plate. Glorious plate, Smiling, by the way. But I asked him, is there still that egg surcharge going on at Waffle House? And he can confirm, yes, still that egg surcharge going on at Waffle House. Again, they zig, you zag. There's plenty of good stuff there at Waffle House. If you don't want to pay that egg surcharge, grilled ham and cheese sandwich, pecan waffle, Texas cheese steak melt, a Longoria favorite. So Smiling, updating us from the Waffle House Live this morning. The egg surcharge is still going on. Still to come on the show, Vinny had an exclusive interview with hip-hop legend Method Man. We'll play that for you. Doge checks. Can we be getting $5,000 from Doge and Elon Musk? We're going to talk to Rory O'Neill about that in just a little bit. But joining us on the show from ABC News is Jim Ryan. Jim, good morning. Full disclosure, man, I am a last-minute tax filer. It drives little Sanjay crazy. I wait till April 15th, usually because I've got to pay taxes, so I want to delay cutting that check to the IRS. But I know a lot of folks get refunds, and they want them as quick as possible. IRS laying off 6,000 workers. What does that mean for folks and their refunds for their 2024 taxes?
Well, yeah, and even your return, Mark, is likely to be delayed because not only have we had hiring freezes in effect at the Internal Revenue Service for some time, but now there are staffing cuts being made in Washington. What is it, 6,000 employees of the IRS being let go? And so that's likely to delay the entire process, whether you owe or whether you are owed. The best advice that I'm sure that your tax accountant has is to file early. The deadline this year is April 15th. We don't have a federal holiday or anything going on in Washington, D.C. to delay that. And so the 15th is the deadline. The other big piece of advice from the Internal Revenue Service and from the taxpayer advocate within the IRS is to file electronically. Filing a paper return, like about 76 million people do, only slows down the entire process. And so, that only complicates things. They're dealing with some really old equipment, Mark, and that doesn't help.
So for some folks, this is a bad news situation, right? They want that refund as quick as possible. It could be delayed. But for other folks, I mentioned this on the show yesterday, 6,000 less agents. Does that mean there's a lesser chance that we get audited when we file?
Yes. Absolutely. The folks who have been let go are the probationary employees, and some of those undoubtedly are auditors, and some are people who answer the phones or who, process in the tax returns. So, yeah, the chances of an audit are probably going to be lower this year than they were last year. If you look, by the way, the number of people who have filed last year at this point in the tax filing season, 15.3 million returns had been filed. This year, the number at this point is 13.1 million, so a 14% decline. You can imagine now that the bottleneck is suddenly people say, "Oh, you know what? I better return, better file now." You're going to see some delays. So quicker you can get in there, the closer to the front of the line you're going to be.
Jim Ryan, ABC News, joining us on the Mark Arum Show. As DOJ has been systematically going department by department, making these cuts. We've had, so a lot of folks, especially here in Atlanta, the CDC cuts hit deep, and there's been some tears shed, but I haven't seen anyone bemoaning the fact that 6,000 IRS agents lost their job, even though, it's sad that they lost their job, but I think the fact that they are in the Internal Revenue Service, public opinion hasn't been on their side on this one.
Well, probably not, but consider that about 10% of those people being let go are military veterans or military veterans' military family who depend on that paycheck. So, yeah, everybody hates the IRS, but there are people working there and people who depend on that paycheck and people who are counting on their tax refund as a part of their normal budgeting process. So it's going to be complicated here for at least a little while, Mark.
Have you filed yet, Jim?
I have. I did it last week.
Good for you. My accountant is screaming at his radio right now. Get me your paperwork, Mark. Jim Ryan.
Well, it's easy to do it on your own. There are programs out there, and you can do it free and drop it in. That's the other bit of advice here: is to file electronically, not by paper, and to make sure that you get that return as factually accurate as you can. Make sure you sign it, for heaven's sake. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make.
All right, Jim. Great advice. Great stuff. As always, appreciate your time. Have a good weekend, buddy.
See you.
All right. If you're worried about your refund, file early, file electronically. I cannot do either of those. I need Sanjay at brass.tax to do, because I have very complicated taxes, believe it or not. And I'm going to owe. I know I'm going to owe. So I want to delay till the end. But yeah, if you want that refund, file early, because it could be delayed because of the manpower shortage at the IRS. Again, the flip side of the coin is maybe less folks are going to get audited. I've, knock on wood, never been audited. I welcome it. Sanjay's my dude. He's, waterproof tax filing from Brass Tax Accounting. This is a story that I laughed at when you sent to me, Deborah. Years ago, one of my college roommates moved down to Atlanta, lived here for a while. Jay Trulli was his name, and he had this idea to bottle. This is right when the bottled water thing started becoming, and he wanted to bottle New York City tap water and sell it. And I thought he was kidding, but he grew up in New York, and he's like, New York City tap water is the best tasting tap water of all time. I'm like, I don't know, Jay, it's not going to fly. Fast forward 15 years later, someone's starting to do this now, selling New York City bottled tap water.
Yeah, it's called Tapped, T-A-P-D. And I don't know, you lived in New York, so you would know better. Is the water really all that different than it is here, tap water?
The only thing I remember, I grew up in Connecticut, we were on a well. And sometimes the well water would get funky. And then my mom finally, we got a Poland Spring water cooler in the kitchen in case the well water got funky. The only I don't remember New York City tap water being bad. I remember Florida water tasting bad. When I go to my grandparents, I was like, "This is crap, not good." Grammy, this is not good water. But I don't remember New York City being great, or definitely not bad, but not great.
Well, New Yorkers are saying the secret to why their pizza's so great and why their bagels so great is because of the water. So if that's true, this man, what's his name? Zucker, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, Zucker is selling Tapped, T-A-P-D. You can order New York City public tap water.
Well, there was a joint up in Cobb County, Brooklyn Water Bagel, I think, that they would ship their water down from Brooklyn to make their bagels. They say the key to the pizza and the bagels is New York City water. I just can't imagine some guy from Alpharetta going to the Quick Trip wanting a bottle of water. He's like, give me some of that New York City tap water. Anyway, I feel bad to my buddy Jay, who had the idea 15 years ago, and I laughed at him. Then he moved. He was so mad at me he's like, I'm moving to New Jersey.
Could have been a millionaire.
I know. All right, quick break. When we come back, Rory O'Neal on the possibility that we're going to get $5,000 from Doge and our exclusive one-on-one interview. Vinny interviewing Method Man. Next on The Mark Arum Show.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia announces his resignation.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Some brake lights out of Cobb County, I-20 eastbound.
We've got it covered.
The U.S. Surgeon General is warning about a link between alcohol and cancer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Can you keep your home show ready with a busy life? Orchard has all the answers. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, you can buy your new home before selling your old one. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler, and it's simple. Orchard gives you an equity advance, unlocking cash to buy your new home first. That's right. You don't have to wait for your old place to sell. You can move in right away. And no more rushing out for showings or constant cleaning because Orchard sells your old home after you've settled into your new home. Orchard even handles repairs and improvements at no out-of-pocket cost to you. Their local pros know which upgrades bring you the most money, so you sell for top dollar. Buy before you sell and skip the selling hassles with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
February is Heart Health Month, and there's no better time to take care of your heart. This is Scott Slade. It's the perfect month to call Virtual Imaging and get your free heart scan to help you stay ahead of heart disease before you even know there's a problem. You've been hearing us talk about how Virtual Imaging's free heart scan can save lives. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, and any problem with your heart that you can detect early means you have a better chance of living a longer life. Call Virtual Imaging today and get your free heart scan. What are you waiting for? Call 770-678-SCAN. It's quick, painless, and you'll get a clear picture of your heart's health so you know where you stand. And it's a great way to mark Heart Health Month. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Virtual Imaging now and schedule your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements. It's quick, easy, and could save your life. I've done it. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Because your heart deserves it. If not for yourself, do it for your family.
When someone first comes in and you see that discouragement on their face, they've tried so many different products, but nothing seemed to work for them, I'm able to take that and turn it into hope.
You're listening to Mallory, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
They try the arch supports. You see their face brighten up from feeling discouraged to being happy and hopeful again. You're helping people. We're able to take them from the pain to the possibilities.
Try them for yourself with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Walk-ins welcome, or visit goodfeet.com for more information.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've lowered prices. You can save 15% or more on hundreds of items like Thomas Mini Bagels, Campbell's SpaghettiOs, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
11:18 on the Mark Arum Show, monitoring delays on I-20, west side of town. Live with the latest, Alex Williams.
Yeah, it's a stall, a car carrying a trailer, part of the left lane knocked out here. I-20 eastbound, Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49. You slow back before Riverside Parkway. Earlier stall, 285 northbound, the inner loop on the west side at I-20, exit 10. That's cleared out of the left lane. And just watch crews in Kennesaw wrap up some pothole repair from the right lane. 75 northbound just past Barrett Parkway, exit 269. And in Midtown, crash pushed off to the right, 75-85 southbound below that 17th Street Bridge. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Man, welcome back to the Mark Arum Show, 11:18 on this chilly Friday. We're going to be joined by correspondent Rory O'Neill in just a second, talking about the possibility of DOJ stimulus checks. I want to set up this interview you're about to hear. So this is Method Man, one of my favorite artists of all time, in town in Atlanta for a film festival. And Deborah, you and I and Method Man's handlers were trying to arrange an in-person interview to have him come in studio. So
studio, on the phone, whatever we could do.
But obviously busy dude, couldn't set it up, couldn't get it confirmed. But they offered a red carpet interview 2 nights ago. Unfortunately, I am an old man. I go to bed early. My red carpet days are done. So we brought in... what are you calling yourself now? Associate producer? Assistant producer?
Assistant producer.
Assistant producer.
Yes.
Vinny Bag of Donuts. So we wanted to give Vinny an opportunity to shine. Very familiar. Obviously, Vinny Drip is big into the music world. An opportunity to show us his chops. So we got Vinny a press pass to go to this film event, the screening, and interview on the red carpet METHOD, man. So Vinny jumped at the opportunity. I love the go-get-itness you've got. So before we play this interview, do you want to set it up? Tell us what the event was, what the scene was like, and what it was like interviewing Method Man.
Yeah, so it was a movie premiere for Bad Shabbos, a movie that's in theaters. I think it came out Wednesday, like everywhere. And it's a comedy. It's really good. I got a chance.
The Jewish
Atlanta Jewish Film Festival.
Okay,
it's their 25th anniversary.
And it had just to set up. So it's a film. Good Shabbos is Friday night, sun goes down, start of the Sabbath in the Jewish calendar. So that's what the movie's about. So you prepped yourself. You ready? You went down to the red carpet. Where was the event being held?
It was at Cobb Galleria.
Cobb Galleria. Your first ever red carpet interview experience?
First ever.
All right, let's hear it. Vinny, Bag of Donuts, exclusive one-on-one interview with METHOD, man.
How you doing, everybody? This is assistant producer Vinny with the Mark Arum Show, WSB Radio. Standing here with the legendary Method Man. How you doing, man?
I'm groovy. My shoes are shining.
That's good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how does a hip-hop legend, black hip-hop legend such as yourself, end up on a Jewish film?
Jewish people love Wu-Tang.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Everybody loves
Wu-Tang. Matter of fact, they have a Wu-Tang clan.
Okay.
Seth Rogen, Christopher Mintz-Platts, Evan Ross, all the guys. Judd Apatow, all the guys. Yeah, they love us.
I believe that my Mark Arum and my boss, they're both Jewish. Definitely love. Mark Arum loves music in general, so he's definitely a fan.
Yeah, but Jews got a lot of soul, brother.
Yeah,
Jewish people, they got a lot of soul. So
that's for sure.
They're gonna love the music.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I believe that. Before this film, did you? I know New York. I know you from New York. My mom was from Queens. Did you have any common knowledge of any Jewish holidays or I heard about the challah bread. Did you know the prayer over the challah bread?
I did not know that. Only thing I was familiar with was maybe Hanukkah, Rosh Hashanah,
okay.
and I don't even know what it's for.
I don't even know that. No.
But I did do a lot of on-the-job learning.
Okay.
And it's very interesting, especially Shabbos, because they're not allowed to use any electronics for that whole day. Kind of like the Muslims do with a fast with food.
Yes.
They do it with electronics. My question is, how do they get up and down the elevator? Right.
Hey, man, that's a good question.
Take the
good
stairs,
question.
Vinny.
So, I see you've been doing a lot of acting lately, of course, and even
I've been
over
doing
your
a lot of acting for a long time.
yeah, for your over your career, of
Yes,
course.
sir.
You've had a lot of success.
Yeah.
With the Power series with 50 Cent,
Yes,
another
I have.
legend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do we expect to see anything else coming up with you in acting?
Well, Bad Shabbos first and foremost.
For sure.
And I think it's a great family movie. It isn't just for people of the Jewish faith.
Okay.
I think anybody can come see this movie and enjoy it. And not only that, learn some things about, the dynamic of a Jewish family, a traditional Jewish family in a modern era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. When you come to Atlanta, I just want to ask my boy Mark Arum. Shout out Mark Arum. I'm Vinny, assistant producer of the Mark Arum Show, WSB Radio.
Yes.
When you do come to Atlanta, is there any favorite spots? He's a big foodie. Do you have any recommended spots that you like to hit up?
I do macros, so no, I'm not a big foodie.
Okay.
Food is the enemy right now.
Good question, though,
Okay.
Vinny. That was
I
a
have
good question.
food anxiety.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see you a big gym guy.
Yeah.
I see you got your own brand.
Yes.
Right? Okay. That's for sure. Yeah, keep that up, man. I love
Thank
to
you,
see
brother.
that.
Appreciate
I
it.
definitely need to get in the gym myself. Might have to hit you up to personal train me, man. So, of course, I would hate to leave here and not ask you about music. Like I said, you are a legend in the game.
Thank you, sir.
I produce music myself. I go by Down South Vinny. Just a little plug there.
Love that.
A lot of OGs have been putting out music lately, such as your boy Redman, of course.
Yeah.
We got Nas, Busta Rhymes, still putting out great music to this day.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we can expect, an OG album, I like to call it, coming
Well, here's
up?
the thing about that. We've been putting out music over the years. Just nobody was really checking for it except our core audience. I think now that the younger generation is becoming a bit more conscious of the world around them. They're getting older.
Right.
They're starting to write with more substance. There's an appreciation for what we did. So people are going back, or rather, they see something new come out and like, well, I want to see what my parents were talking about or what my older brother was talking about. And when they tune in, they don't regret it. They see basically the blueprint of how hip-hop works. Yeah.
You definitely set the platform for him. You definitely did. I think that's about it, man. That's all I got for you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Pleasure.
All right.
There you go. Vinny, Bag of Donuts on the red carpet with Method Man. Great job, Vinny. You really did. For your first interview, that was fantastic. You were prepared. You knew what you were talking about. I want to give you 5 stars, but what was the one thing I asked Vinny to do, Deborah, for the red carpet interview?
Vinny, get a drop.
Get a drop for the show.
I totally forgot about that one.
That's all I
I'm
needed
so
was,
sorry.
hey, it's Method Man. You're listening to the Mark Arum Show. So if you were an Uber driver, you get 4 stars. But fantastic stuff. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
And I'll answer I'll give you the prayer for the challah during the news break. But good job, Vinny. Thank you for doing that. Vinny on assignment, one-on-one with METHOD Man. News, weather, and traffic when we come back to Capitol Hill. Correspondent Scott McFarland, Rory O'Neill on the possibility that you and I might be getting $5,000 checks from Doge. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and receive the strongest cash offer in the industry. You'll save time and make the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free, make the most money, and move when you're ready. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home and skip the hassle of constant cleaning and costly repairs. When you receive a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, there's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. One of our clients, Jerry, said, Mark Spain Real Estate got us an offer in just 3 days, and it was over the asking price. I can't thank Mark Spain Real Estate enough. Don't worry about the inconveniences of selling your home. The Guaranteed Offer makes selling your home simple. I've been in business for nearly 30 years and have served over 58,000 satisfied clients, and I know what matters most: a quick sell and maximum profit. Find out what your Guaranteed Offer will be and close in as little as 21 days. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a Guaranteed Offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. When you have plumbing problems, you need it done quickly and on your schedule. Superior Plumbing will work around your schedule night and day. They've served Atlanta for almost 40 years. They want to be your plumber for life, and they'll earn your trust by doing the work correctly the first time. So do what I did and call Superior Plumbing night or day to have a trusted plumber fix your plumbing issues.
Superior, the honest one. Call 770-422-PLUM.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics: blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 888-471-3896. That's 888-471-3896. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Start your spring cleaning early. Get an insanely clean home with Zero Res carpet and air duct cleaning. For this month only, mention me, Chris Chandler, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129 plus a free staircase. Book online at ZeroResAtlanta.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. New this half hour, the White House now saying that the cuts at the IRS will not impact tax filing season. Karen Travers has more from Washington.
This is a significant number of people at the IRS who started to get their layoff notices as of last night. 6,000 people at the agency, and that's across the country, not just here in Washington, D.C. It's about 6% of the workforce, but this is something that is part of the broader workforce reductions by the Trump administration, and they're defending this, saying that this is all about trying to target waste, fraud, and abuse.
Now, despite the White House saying that the cuts won't impact you, some tax preparers say that it may mean delays in getting your tax refund this year. They're urging you to file early. Mostly sunny and staying cold today. Highs around 46, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Later today, the man accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Luigi Mangione making his first court appearance since December.
Mangione has garnered a massive wave of popularity, this week issuing his first statement through a website created by his defense team, saying the support has transcended political, racial, and even class divisions. And donations continue to pour into his defense fund, which has now raised more than $500,000.
And Trevor Alt reports the hearing today could result in a trial date being set. Check back for updates on that this afternoon. New this half hour, more, the Georgia Technology Authority is adding to the list of sites that are banned on the state's network. Among the additions are Chinese-owned RedNote, a social media app similar to TikTok, and DeepSeek AI, which is the Chinese artificial intelligence company set up to compete with ChatGPT. TikTok is already banned on state devices. An explosion at a Hawaii beachside condominium resort in a popular tourist area has injured some people and left a pile of debris. Police say the explosion happened last night at the Aston at the Whaler Resort in West Maui. David Flint was nearby at the time.
We know it's a real crowded area, and it was pretty scary, and there were all sorts of rumors right away. Somebody was saying a grill exploded. Somebody else said there was a bomb in a garbage can, and it was definitely just surreal.
Now, 7 people ranging in age from 18 to 74 were hurt in that explosion, 3 of them critically. This is new. Ford recalling nearly 250,000 SUVs to deal with a seatbelt issue. Jeff Gilbert has more on that.
The 2021 and 22 model year Ford Explorers and Lincoln Aviators have seatbelt anchor bolts that may be improperly secured. Ford says it's not aware of any accidents or injuries. Dealers will inspect the vehicles and make any needed repairs.
And Tesla is recalling some 380,000 vehicles because of a problem with the power steering. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's down 383 at 43,793. NASDAQ also down almost a full percent. The S&P's down more than a half. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather brought to you by American Crawl Space Solutions. Here's Alex Williams.
Still dealing with this stall in the left lane on the West Freeway inbound, 20 eastbound, Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49. That's why you're seeing the brake lights starting just before Riverside Parkway. Now in Doraville, just found construction that's set up in the right lane, 285 westbound, the Outer Loop Beaver Highway, exit 32. You're slow leaving I-85. That's also going to impact that I-85 southbound ramp to 285 west coming out of Norcross. And pothole repair looks to have wrapped up, I believe, 75 northbound before Chastain Road, exit 271. Was in the right lane, so you're seeing some brake lights coming out of Marietta into Kennesaw. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies and chilly for today with a high of 46. That's trending about 15 degrees below average for this afternoon. Another hard freeze for tonight, lows in the mid-20s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 52. On Sunday, staying cool and dry with morning lows in the 30s, daytime highs in the mid-50s.
It is 36 degrees in Covington, 34 in Johns Creek, Powder Springs. You have 34 degrees. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
I've got a sense of humor.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
The driver of this vehicle is a better human being than you are.
He's Eric Von Hessler.
I'm here to tell you the truth.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
As we're finding savings, that's going to translate directly to reductions in tax. So.
Yeah. Elon Musk talking about the savings that Doge wants to get. Could we get a Doge stimulus check? Correspondent Rory O'Neill with the story next on the Mark Arum Show.
February is Heart Health Month, and there's no better time to take care of your heart. This is Scott Slade. It's the perfect month to call Virtual Imaging and get your free heart scan to help you stay ahead of heart disease before you even know there's a problem. You've been hearing us talk about how Virtual Imaging's free heart scan can save lives. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, and any problem with your heart that you can detect early means you have a better chance of living a longer life. Call Virtual Imaging today and get your free heart scan. What are you waiting for? Call 770-678-SCAN. It's quick, painless, and you'll get a clear picture of your heart's health so you know where you stand. And it's a great way to mark Heart Health Month. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Virtual Imaging now and schedule your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements. It's quick, easy, and could save your life. I've done it. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Because your heart deserves it. If not for yourself, do it for your family. So what's going on with the market regarding interest rates? This is Scott Slade. Seems each week we're getting new predictions. If you've been waiting for the right time to buy a new house or refinance, the time is now. And here's why. Talking to my friends at Myland about this, they bring up a good point. Imagine rates drop by a full percentage point. What do you think will happen to home prices? They're likely to go up even higher. We'll be back in bidding wars. So the home you're considering buying today could actually be more expensive, even though the rate might be lower. The best option is to act now. Buy the home you want, and remember that Myland will have your back once rates come down. Myland makes the refinance process easy, and they'll be there to help you lower your payment when the timing is right. Call Myland. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spelled it MILEND. NMLS in Georgia residential mortgage license C148769. Located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
During the winter, temperatures can drop well below freezing, but the vents in your crawl space are letting that cold air into your home. Call American Crawl Space Solutions. They can encapsulate your crawl space, helping keep your home warm and dry this season.
American Crawl Space Solutions. Foundations too.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. 11:37. One more segment after this, and then I'm on vacation. No, it's just the weekend. Big plans next week on the show, though. Former Senator Kelly Loeffler is going to join us live. She is now another Georgia member of the Trump cabinet, so she's going to join us live next week. Look forward to talking to her. Obviously, keep it locked throughout the weekend here on 95.5 WSB for any developments, breaking news, both locally, nationally, and internationally. The headlines, Rory O'Neill, have been dominated in the first month of the second Trump presidency by Elon Musk's led Doge. Layoffs, firings, and the mantra is to get in there and cut government waste, fraud, and abuse. And obviously, they've been making headlines. The latest headline, though, the possibility that Elon Musk's Doge department could be sending out American taxpayers, I guess, for lack for a better word, stimulus checks. What can you tell us about that story?
Yeah, now here's the idea. It popped up on social media. Someone on X said, hey, Elon, if you're saving all this money, why don't you send some of it back to the taxpayer? And now this is starting to snowball. The idea is if Musk's team can target $2 trillion in spending cuts next year, then they'll consider giving a $5,000 rebate to each household. That's the goal. But boy, it's a lofty goal. And for those checks to be approved, Congress would have to approve it. That is another high bar to try to clear here.
I'm going to go on a limb and say 99% of the people listening right now would be like, yes, I would love a $5,000 stimulus check. But I have questions regarding this because, the Democratic administrations were criticized for these stimulus checks because they spurred on inflation and the rising inflation. Is that a concern that the Doge checks could spark inflation to go up again?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll also have to see where the economy is next year. Things may be slowing down a little bit. The Fed is still concerned about inflation, not lowering interest rates. Maybe they want a $5,000 check in every household to try to juice things along by next year. It's a bit of a wait and see. If these checks happen, and let me just underline, circle, highlight, put a star on that if there. I would also suspect that they're going to go out, maybe in October of an election year of 2026 would be my guess.
Yes.
So, let's see how this goes, because they do say that with those $2 trillion in savings, 20% of it would go to pay down the debt, and the 20% would be in the form of these rebates.
That's one of the criticisms I've seen, Rory, since this was offered. The possibility of the Doge stimulus checks was, the whole goal was to cut down the deficit, pay down the national debt. Why not take that $1 billion instead of giving it to American taxpayers, just pay down the debt and maybe alleviate some of the long-term debt that the country has?
Well, right. So now that's that whole different philosophy of, are you a nester or are you a spender, right? And those kinds of things. And that's going to be the argument. And look, I'm sure Democrats won't want to be able to give President Trump that win, right? So they're going to stand up and try to fight it. And if you don't have 60 votes in the Senate, that's what's going to make this nearly impossible. But look, the whole budget is like $6.8 trillion. So cutting $2 trillion, that's more than just, finding some USAID theater production you don't like. I mean, that's fundamental cuts out of a $6.8 trillion budget.
Correspondent Rory O'Neill joining us on the Mark Arum Show. While I have you, the most famous airplane in the world is Air Force One. Will President Trump be getting a new version of Air Force One?
Well, he negotiated a deal with Boeing in his first term, and they were supposed to deliver new Air Force One planes, there are two, by 2024. Well, the pandemic happened, and then the door blew out, and then item, and Boeing Boeing has had a series of problems, so the planes are late. President Trump getting frustrated by that. Boeing says, maybe we can get you one of the 2 new planes just before the end of your term. They've actually brought in Elon Musk with his expertise, seeing if they can streamline things. The plane they have the plane, this new 747s. But the issue is, of course, all the technology that has to go on board.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going. Right, in your storied career, Rory, you ever been on Air Force One?
I have not.
Yeah, me
have
neither.
you?
No. Well, maybe we'll do it when the new one gets launched. You and I will take a joyride.
There you go. There'll be more room for the press than that.
There you go. Rory, as always, appreciate your time. Have a great weekend, buddy.
Thanks, Mark.
I just thought about it. Shelley Winter's he's going to get a ride on that new Air Force One, right? Shelley's in tight with the Trump circle. Shelley's, maybe I can be his +1. Sorry, AMAC. Shelley's taking me on Air Force One. Back to the Doge checks. Listen, in my head, I'm like, if you slash $2 trillion out of the budget, pay down the deficit, right? In my head, I'm like, yeah, take all that savings and pay down this crippling debt we have. That's what my head's saying. My heart's going, I could use $5,000. Wait, does Maya get $5,000 too?
Ooh, is that 10 grand?
10 grand?
I'm down for that.
Right?
That's a lot of Lego.
In my head, I'm like, no, we got to pay down the debt. But in my heart, I'm like, 10 G's would be game changer. Inflation be damned. I don't care. They pop that before the next midterms in 2026. Oh, hey. I wonder who would sign the checks. You remember President Trump signed the stimulus checks before? That was a big thing.
Yeah,
would Musk sign it or would Trump sign it?
Musk.
You think what? No, I don't think Trump would cede that power.
I have a Trump slash.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there are checks where you have to have 2 signers, right? A co-signer.
All right, that
yeah,
work.
get 2 of them on there. Interesting stuff there. Let me update some breaking news out of Israel and Hamas. First, let's hear from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Who kidnaps a little boy and a baby and murders them? Monsters, that's who. These Hamas monsters also cynically refuse to bring back the boy's mother, Shiri, and send the body of a Gazan woman instead.
Yeah, Bibi says Israel will ensure that Hamas pays for not returning the body of Shiri Bibas when they transferred the remains of her 2 young sons who died in captivity. BBC News anchor Moira Alderson has the latest.
Forensic testing revealed the body returned on Thursday was not that of the Israeli hostage Shiri Bibas. Israel also said her 2 young sons, whose remains were sent back, had been murdered by terrorists. Meanwhile, Arab leaders are meeting in the Saudi capital Riyadh today to come up with a plan for the future of Gaza. They've strongly rejected Donald Trump's proposal that the US takes over the territory and relocates its more than 2 million inhabitants.
So we talked to Robert Berger earlier in the week in Jerusalem about the return of the remains, the 2 children and the mom. Turns out the mom, it wasn't her. Her remains, they tested DNA, was not the mom of the 2 kids. So the question is, where is she and whose body was returned? Crazy stuff there. Obviously, we'll be monitoring what's going on with Israel and Hamas throughout the weekend here on 95.5 WSB. When we come back after a quick break, we'll head back up to Capitol Hill. CBS News correspondent Scott McFarland on 2 inquiries opened into 2 Democratic lawmakers, a story that is gaining traction. We'll update that next live on The Mark Arum Show.
Morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
All lanes being held. 575 north at Highway 92, exit 7. Rolling.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Officials diverting you onto Mansell Road.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Is your heating and cooling system so old you can't remember when it was installed? If so, it's time to get protection from Reliable Heating and Air. Hey, friends, it's Mark Arum. Check this out. Let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just coverage for your aging AC and heating systems. Get all the information you need online at reliableair.com.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
At Ameris Bank, we're invested in the success of your business. Our local bankers are ready to help you improve your cash flow, optimize your operating accounts, and access financing when you need it. From treasury services and digital banking to loans and lines of credit, we offer tailored solutions to help your business thrive. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. Visit amerisbank.com/withyourbusiness or walk into one of our branches today to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans subject to credit approval.
Hey, this is Rocco at Rocco's European Garage, and we invite you to come see us at our 6th location, now open off of Main Street, halfway between downtown Alpharetta and Milton. At Rocco's European Garage, we take pride in offering full service and repair on any European vehicle. You'll always get effective communication, upfront all-in pricing, and you approve the work prior to us beginning. Plus a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker, always at a better value than the dealership. Now open in Alpharetta or find a location near you at roccoseuropeangarage.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Georgia, we don't need to tell you that your cost of living has gotten too high. Lawsuit abuse creates a hidden tax on your car insurance, healthcare, groceries, really on everything you need, and it's driving up prices. It's costing Georgia families over $5,000 every year. But there's a solution to stop lawsuit abuse and lower costs for hardworking Georgians. It's tort reform. Listen to Governor Kemp.
Our businesses and hardworking Georgians need relief.
The increased cost of doing business is simply passed on to the consumer.
Georgia needs tort reform, and they need it now.
Call your legislator and tell them to join Governor Kemp in stopping lawsuit abuse, eliminating this hidden tax, and passing tort reform now. Brought to you by Protecting American Consumers Together.
If I said to focus your energy, where would you start? Let's say you run a business, a school campus, a hospital, or a government facility. Finding ways to save can be overwhelming, but Georgia Power has energy efficiency tips and rebates to help. Things like improving lighting with LEDs, making HVAC upgrades, adding building controls, and more. Look, you've got a business to run and numbers to hit. Georgia Power can help you focus your energy where it matters most. Learn more at georgiapower.com/biz.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Right now, select varieties are buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pegol is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
11:50 on the Mark Aram Show. Checking delays 285 Dorville Way. Live with the latest. Alex Williams.
All due to right lane construction. 285 westbound. The outer loop at Buford Highway, exit 32. You're slow leaving I-85 Spaghetti Junction. And already starting to slow 85 southbound coming out of Norcross as you try to transition onto 285 west. Slow once again in Kennesaw. 75 northbound right at Barrett Parkway, exit 269. I'm going to check and see if that's pothole repair once again. But it's slow coming out of Marietta. And the stall that was in the left lane now all gone on the West Freeway, 20 eastbound Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I heard shots, and I saw people crawling on the floor. I saw someone look in amazement to the front. I knew they had shot my husband.
60 years ago today, as heard on WSB Radio, Malcolm X was assassinated as he's about to give a speech in New York City. That was his widow, Betty Shabazz, describing what happened. Malcolm X, 60 years ago today, was assassinated. I did not learn enough about Malcolm X in school. It was mentioned, but we did in depth on Dr. King, but we weren't taught a lot about Malcolm X in school.
Those movies were kind of out when I was in school, so that was kind of like, oh, go learn about watch.
I
this
learned
movie.
more
Yeah.
about it through the movie than I did in schooling 60 years ago today. All right, let's head up to Capitol Hill. Correspondent from CBS News, Scott McFarland. Scott, good morning as always. Thanks for your time.
Hey, Mark, good morning.
Read your piece on CBSNews.com yesterday. It appears that Ed Martin, the acting U.S. attorney for D.C., has opened inquiries into Senator Chuck Schumer and Representative Robert Garcia, both Democrats. What are these inquiries all about?
Well, according to Ed Martin's memo to his colleagues obtained by CBS News, he's concerned the rhetoric those two congressmen have used could be deemed threatening against judges or against Elon Musk and Elon Musk's Doge outfit. Both Democratic members of Congress have strongly denied that anything they've said criticizing judges or Doge has been threatening. But a couple things here. First of all, it's a sea change because this U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C., among the most powerful prosecutors in America now, has revealed a pending investigation or inquiry. The Department of Justice never does that. They never reveal an investigation until they bring a charge. So that's a sea change. But also, this was the office that prosecuted nearly 1,600 Capitol insurrectionists. They have very much shifted their mission now to doing an inquiry on Chuck Schumer.
So what does that tell us, Scott, that this is a change of pattern, that this has not been done before? Is this just, the new sheriff in town and there's going to be new protocols?
I think so. This is one of those buckle up moments. I think half the population's going to love this, half the population's going to hate this, but the Department of Justice is shattering norms left and right. The Department of Justice has long been an independent branch of government, one that operates separate from the White House and political interests. That's over. The FBI director just confirmed yesterday is a strong Trump loyalist who has deeply and passionately argued for Trump's ways. He's now running the Bureau. The U.S. Attorney General, a deep Trump loyalist who once served as Trump's attorney at his first impeachment trial, she's running the Department of Justice. And you have this U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C., who goes by the nickname Eagle, Ed the Eagle Martin, who was a Stop the Steal figure, an election denier who defended January 6 rioters in their cases. He's now the top prosecutor in the nation's capital. This is just a different kind of world, Mark.
What were the alleged threats that Schumer and Garcia made that kicked off this inquiry?
So in March 2020, before COVID shutdowns, Chuck Schumer made a statement about Justice Kavanaugh, Brett Kavanaugh of the Supreme Court, where something alluding to we're coming to fight. A day later, March 5th, 2020, Chuck Schumer had heard some criticism about those words and on the Senate floor apologized and said he meant no physical fight against the justices, and that none of that was a threat. 5 years later, Ed Martin has decided to do an inquiry into what Chuck Schumer meant in March 2020. Robert Garcia is quite different. Second-term Democratic congressman from suburban Los Angeles. On CNN a week ago, he said about Elon Musk and Elon Musk's Doge team that this is a bar fight. We have to bring weapons to this bar fight to win. A metaphor, an allegory, I think his supporters would argue. But Ed Martin, who has been online on social media actively praising Elon Musk, says now it's worthy of an inquiry and sent a letter of inquiry to Robert Garcia, who said he meant no literal bar fight was going to happen with Elon Musk or Doge, but that inquiry is ongoing, and Congressman Garcia posted a copy of the inquiry letter he received from prosecutors online last night.
Scott McFarland in D.C. I wonder if Eric's going to pick up that story about the inquiry. The Garcia comments especially worth noting. Quick update. Apparently, if you're looking for a side hustle, Chipotle is hiring. How many thousands of workers is Chipotle hiring, Deborah?
Chipotle is getting ready to hire about 20,000 additional employees.
But I love because it's about to be
burrito season.
I didn't know there was a burrito season.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know either. Why were we not told about this?
Yeah.
Apparently, March to May is a big burrito season among the people that frequent Chipotle. So they need to hire 20,000 additional people just for burrito season.
Chipotle fans are rabid. I've met people that said they would eat there every meal for the rest of their life if they could. I enjoy Chipotle. It's delicious. My body just automatically, for whatever, I can go in and just get a cup of water at Chipotle and my stomach hurts. I don't know what it is.
Not New York tap water.
It's not New York tap water. Exactly. Good callback, Deborah. So whatever. It's burrito season. How many thousand workers are they hiring?
20.
20.
Well, the CDC's laying off all those people. Let's
too
go.
soon. Too soon,
Make
Longoria.
burritos.
6,000 IRS workers just slide behind the counter there at Chipotle.
job.
Yeah, there you go. All right, burrito season. Happy early burrito season, everyone.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, it's not National Burrito Day. It's National Sticky Bun Day today. And sticky buns originated in the 17th century in Germany and were originally called Schnicken, which translates to snail.
Schnicken. Vinny had a sticky bun yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago. And Von Hessler. Oh, honey bun.
Those are
He's
honey
a big
buns.
honey bun fan.
Is that different from a sticky
That's
bun?
different.
Yeah,
and different from a cinnamon roll.
All right.
From what I've learned.
So today is National
Sticky
Bun Day.
Yeah.
I shan't celebrate.
Why not? Are you on your no carb?
No, much to Smile and chagrin. Fat Mark Aram has not started the no carbs. Maybe next week I'll do that. Meh. I will give Smiling a star of the show, though.
Are you guys ready for the
Even though he fat shames me. He did give us a update that there's still an egg surcharge going on at Waffle House. Deborah, Longoria, and Vinny, all stars of the show. Fantastic. I'm going to throw myself one. Fatty McFatterson brought in donuts, and I shone a light on the lack of Uber drivers right now currently, so I'm going to get a star of the show. Scott McFarland there from Capitol Hill. Taisha Fernandez in studio. If you missed it, listen to the podcast, 10 o'clock hour. She participated in the search on Lake Oconee for the missing boater. Really great interview with Taisha. Star of the show for her. Bill Crane, political analyst, Jim Ryan, and Rory O'Neill. I'm forgetting anybody? That's it. All right. It's been a long, exhausting week. It'll be the same next week. Whatever breaks, we're covering it here on the Mark Aram Show. Kelly Leffler is going to join us live next week as well. Social medias shall be active throughout this chilly weekend. Hit me up on socials, folks, at Mark Aram, MARK